They're not in Dwayne Haskins' crib. He can do whatever
Yeah,
he
yeah,
wants now.
he got cut. I saw Quaface was talking about it on my Twitch stream, saying that it was long overdue, and it's like, yeah, I understand it at this point. It's like
Yeah, I
I don't know everything that happened with him, but it just seemed like I don't know if he don't want to play on football or whatever the case may be. I don't know
well,
what it is.
see, the thing was watching him in that game. You could tell he didn't give a rat's ass what was going on. Like he sat there, like dude that came in, Heineke. He came in and was just like boom, 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 hitting everything. Haskins over those two and whatever minutes, 2 quarters and a little bit into the third, you could tell he was just sitting there like, I don't care. I'm just going to throw the ball here and see what happens. He literally was doing the very thing that Rivera talks about. Oh, let's just see what happens. Well, that's how Haskins was playing. Oh, let's just see if I throw it here. Oh, that got picked. Oh, okay.
Right,
Let's go
right.
ahead. Oh, that got picked too.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. This is episode 201. Hopefully, everybody had a good Christmas. Hope everybody's going to have a good New Year party. I'm not having a party for the most part. We're just going to probably just chill out and stay here. Probably mainly because I have to work. So I'm probably not going to be doing anything extra anyway. I'll probably be asleep by the time the ball drops. Myself, DJ81. Bills should be here a little bit later. He did not say he was going to be behind or whatever, but the door's always open. Once he comes in, we'll, add him on to the commentary. If you haven't already, you can subscribe or follow both of us on Twitch. DJ81 is Evo325. I am VF Baller. And I want to talk about Twitch in a little while, probably further down in the podcast. Also, if you cannot catch us live and you want to catch us outside of YouTube, we are on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. You can catch us all on those platforms as well, so you can download it on the go if you don't feel like opening up your YouTube account. And other than that, everything else is good. Also, I can get into the other stuff. We do have a Patreon. We do have a Discord. We also have merch on Teespring, and pretty much that is it. DJ, how was your Christmas? How's everything is going?
Oh, Christmas. I think the Christmas was fine. Nothing really happened. Just chilled out, played some games, watched some movies. Talked with close ones, and sat there and watched my team go out and lay an egg. So
Yeah, welcome
yeah,
to the club. I mean, as a Falcons fan, I haven't watched them lay an egg. I just figured it out after the fact because I haven't been watching them at all. It's nothing to watch at this point with them. I'm like, all right, let me know what y'all gonna do in the offseason with this new coach. If y'all gonna keep him, if y'all gonna get another one, and then I may get interested again because this season's a wash.
yeah, we are definitely in the need of a quarterback. Let's just say that.
Right, right. Um, I think outside of that, Christmas was good on my end. I got the stuff for my son. Got a few things. If you can see on the screen, I have a new mic. I have a new computer desk. I actually have a new lighting. That's why you see the new light right here. Got a new studio light. I may get another one for this side over here, so it'll be both coming in from both angles.
Yeah,
But
it
this
definitely
one,
looks more natural.
yeah, it
It
looks
looks a
much
lot
better.
better.
It
Yeah,
looks a lot better than using an actual
it's
light
like
bulb.
my
So
lighting right
right,
now.
so it looks pretty good here. I like it. It's just a little bit too dark behind me. I don't like it as dark as it is. That's why I say
But
I'm
you're
making a
wearing
second one.
all white right now, so it's kind of like offsetting the fact that it's dark in the
Hold on,
background.
hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna respond to Quaface while you're.
Oh no, I'm good. That's just my wife was asking the question.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, 'cause-
no, yeah, we can talk about that as well. But no, like other than that, man, everything else has been pretty smooth as far as Christmas goes. Got my wife some things that she wanted for her thing that she's starting to set up. She's starting to make T-shirts and she's putting items and logos on items and stuff. It's pretty cool. So everything's on the up and up. So
mm,
2020 in general. Don't want to really get into the outside of stuff what we normally talk about on here. I mean, obviously, this is no way to get around how crazy this year has been, and but I think we could do a pretty decent job of avoiding it. Just basically talking about sports, gaming, and this small little community that we're building. I mean, maybe we'll dab on it a little bit because, like I said, it's kind of unavoidable. But I don't want to dwell into it too much because I want to go into the new year with a different vibe, a different attitude, and hopefully most things to start off on the right foot. But before we get out of here, I mean, before we get out of the year, I know you and Quaface was talking about the Redskins in general. As far as the next year goes, or this year, how do you feel like your team handled this year, and also going into next year? I mean, either one. You could talk, Quaface, if you want to talk in the comments. You can do that as well, and we'll just we'll talk about it.
I look at the fact that the hiring of Ron Rivera was definitely a step in the right direction, along with a whole bunch of other changes. I wasn't really worried about the name change so much because I was kind of like open to it. I remember in years past, I was really closed off to the idea of changing the name, but after a while, it just was really stupid to hold on to something when in fact a new name could be way better than the old name. So right now we remain nameless. But as far as the season has progressed this year, obviously no training camp, no preseason, and basically the first 4 games, as I predicted, were going to be used as the as preseason. So we went 4 games with Dwayne Haskins. He got benched after the 4th game. Then we went with Kyle Allen until he got injured. Alex Smith made a miraculous return, and that introduction. Aaron Donald. They all got a hold of him. And after that, we started winning some games. Then all of a sudden, due to the fact that the NFC East was a dumpster fire, we were in it, and as of right now, we control our own destiny. A place where a lot of I'll give Ron Rivera his credit because he's gone out and said that he's the only one that saw that we would be at this point. I didn't see it. Your local experts didn't see it. Definitely the national media didn't see this coming. But, with the fact that the division was a dumpster fire, every team was virtually in it. But, the national media, they tend to write Washington off right out the bat. You like same old Skins, even though they're not the Skins anymore. And, and how he handled Dwayne Haskins, I think Dwayne Haskins was treated fairly. He was given the proper amount of chances, and the dude fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, I think he got a fair amount of chances because in some situations, some black quarterbacks don't ever see the field again, let alone him getting cut. You'll have a situation where they'll just give him maybe one and a half chances, and you don't hear from him no more.
And the sad part about it is that the stuff that he got in trouble for was stuff that you wouldn't normally get in trouble for. It was just the fact that 2020 was the year in hell in which COVID ruined everything. It ruined even having, paying for ass, even though your girlfriend right there. He gets in trouble for that. And obviously there's a big risk in going any place maskless now these days. So he did that twice because the first time was he tried to sneak somebody into a hotel. He did one of those things that one of the NBA players tried to do. Or was it? No, it was an NFL player that tried to sneak somebody into the training camp in Seattle.
He got right.
Released.
Right, and then there was another basketball player that tried it too in the bubble or something like that. Yeah.
So it's just the fact that Dwayne Haskins, I'm like, I do have two opinions. I've already expressed the objective opinion. The personal opinion is that I hope the man gets the help that he needs. He definitely does sound like a robot right about now. So there's no emotions. There's no nothing. I would be worried for his mental health right about now because the fact that the last game he left the stadium without talking to reporters and he was the starting quarterback. And apparently it was communication, but I think dude just blew everybody off and went home because he did his presser from his house.
Oh wow, did he? I didn't know that.
And then after he got released, I think local news media did a one-on-one interview with him at his house. So yeah, he definitely needs a new change of scenery and be in a place where they're going to develop him. I don't know where that may be, but it won't be here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know where he'll go. A lot of people saying that he may go somewhere and it'll be okay if he starts as a backup. I'm not really sure how this is going to play out because Dwayne Haskins, even though he has a lot of upside, is still a little bit of unproven stuff, unproven situation. He's still unproven. That's what I meant to say. And I don't know there's too many teams that's going to take an unproven quarterback and roll him out immediately.
Hmm.
So, like I said, the backup role may work out for him. I
Right.
mean, it kind of sucks because you want a young quarterback like that you want a young quarterback to start right away. So, because the more he starts, the better he'll be. I mean, it's kind of like the situation with what you call it in San Diego with Justin Herbert. But
Hmm.
I think the situation with that, I think Haskins was a product of being drafted by someone else. So I'm not really sure how that played out with Ron Rivera. I'm just not
Um,
really sure. It was
the,
the whole thing was just kind of weird. I don't know.
yeah, the other factor is the fact that you look at the environment surrounding Haskins last year versus the environment surrounding him this year. He was already poisoned by the organization last year. Jay Gruden not really giving a fuck about teaching his kid the game,
Right,
and
right.
Jay Gruden not a good example himself. He gets caught out in a nightclub someplace, and he gets fired. You had Bruce Allen, bitch ass Bruce Allen. He finally gets fired at the end of the year. The only person that really did any good for him was Bill Callahan. So it was one of those things where, they did the things you need to do for a young quarterback. Run the football because you had Adrian Peterson. They ran the football, they ran play action, they rolled him out. And I would say his tail end of like his season ending streak of games was a success based on the fact that he showed growth and improvement. And that's what
Right.
Ron Rivera took into factor is okay, yeah, I didn't draft this guy, but he showed promise towards the end from what I saw. Shoot, hell, he beat me and got me fired. But it's absurd that now, after losing to Carolina, Rivera has to cut Haskins almost a year, pretty much a year later. So
Right.
it's just with Haskins, he being anointed before you earned anything has been a problem in Washington for quite some time. And it's like 75% the organization, but 25% on the player. I go back to RG3 and how the whole fan base, the organization, Daniel Snyder down, anointed RG3 to be the savior of the franchise, and it put so many expectations. I'm like, he's the number 2 pick, so the expectation already high. You don't have to
It was already
anoint
high. Right. Right.
two. But with Dwayne Haskins, I think he was picked 15th. So he wasn't a high first
Yeah, it
round
was
draft,
something like that. Yeah, it was
his
something like
first
that.
round draft pick. But he was you already anointed this kid was going to be the franchise quarterback. Um, and then Jay Gruden, who doesn't know how to tutor quarterbacks, just sits this kid and pretty much doesn't do anything with him, doesn't teach him, and then you saw some red flags with Haskins as far as how he dealt with the quarterback situation last year. Like you had Case Keenan in front of him. I saw it right when it happened. You could tell he wasn't engaged because he wasn't involved in the game. He was just sitting on one end. Keenan and others are getting coached up on the other. He's just sitting there like,
I forgot y'all had Case Keenum too.
yeah, so that could have been. I'm like Alex Smith, all in the background. See, and it's sad because you had Alex Smith mentoring him from the beginning and all throughout. Then Ron
Right.
Rivera comes in. You had Bill Callahan at the end, but I just felt like with Bruce Allen and Jay Gruden, it was just too late at that point when Ron Rivera got there because it's just like, okay, I'm gonna give this kid a chance just like everyone else. And the way Ron Rivera runs things reminds me of the military. And that kid probably wouldn't make it in the military either with that attitude. So it'd be one of those things, a guy that in training camp, they did have training camp. My fault. They didn't have preseason games. In training camp, a veteran linebacker came up to him, told him stop staring down receivers. He brushed him off, and
Oh
then
yeah, I remember that.
I think a few weeks later. And then you saw what was going on in the game. He was staring down people. He didn't get any of the receivers killed, but he got picked off plenty of times because he would get caught staring down somebody, then throwing the ball. He was late on throws, inaccurate. His mechanics were still off. He still throws awkwardly. Like he throws too awkward because when Heineke came in, like Alex Smith comes in, Kyle Allen comes in, and then Heineke comes in. They get to that drop, the ball's out.
Right.
Haskins sitting there like, oh, where am I supposed to throw the ball again? So I'm like, I wish the kid luck, but I would hope he goes all to get away from this coast. Go out to the west, play somewhere in the south where people are much nicer. Because here, and if he were drafted by Philly, he would have been worse off.
So now I have a question. Like going into 2021, he goes to another team. What team do you think he goes to, and what's the future for your team?
Okay, I feel like Dwayne Haskins has a chance to back up. I would
when you said out west, and something thought in my mind. I had a feeling that when you said that, it kind of dawned on me like it's possible that he can go to Denver, possibly start. Because Drew Lock is, yeah, John Elway. But I'm just looking at the depth chart, and they need a quarterback. I mean, John Elway's not on the field.
I don't care. It's like John Elway is all over that team.
That is fine, but they need a quarterback. What other team they don't need one?
Dwayne Haskins doesn't need somebody's legacy to over, especially the dude wore number 7 this year. He already was being plagued with Joe Theismann's legacy. So you're gonna have another past franchise quarterback who's currently running the team. I mean,
when you said out west, that's the only place I could think of him going. I don't see no other team out west he'll go to.
He can go to LA. He can go to
which LA?
No, my fault. Las Vegas. I see him going to the Raiders.
Maybe I could probably see that because the thing is, right. Because the thing about that is like there's no definitive answer on Carr or Mariota. I could see that.
Okay, so Las Vegas, somewhere in the south. I say.
So what about your team in general? What happens for 2021?
Well, I don't think we need to draft a quarterback or try to do anything drastic to trade up because we've seen what happens how that happened, how that played out in the past. I think we're in a position where we have a strong enough defense. We definitely need to shore up some things like a corner and linebacker. Shore up our offensive line. I think our running back situation is good for another year. We definitely draft some more wideouts. Like I think we could focus on quarterback in the free agency market. I don't think we need to go into the draft. If we do go in the draft with a quarterback, I don't know by name of any collegiate quarterbacks that could come in and eventually be the starter because that's the situation that the Washington football team is in. Is that they're in a situation where they may have Alex Smith for another year. Kyle Allen is going to be there, and depending on how Heineke does, he may be in the mix too. So you're talking about a good 2 to 3 years where if you get somebody late, like early in this, if they have a second round pick or a third rounder, they can groom that person, and they won't have the pressure of being anointed the franchise quarterback. But knowing the DC media around here, they'll find some way to anoint somebody around. So.
Yeah, I could see where that you guys don't draft a quarterback. I mean, I think I can go one more year with y'all have. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, because I was looking at the list of free agent quarterbacks, and obviously Dak Prescott comes to mind, but I don't think we're gonna pay him the amount of money he's asking for. And I think Dallas understands that they need him.
So I think Quaface was talking about that in my Twitch stream the other night. Like, would it be a good idea for them to pick him? I don't see nothing wrong with it. If he's available, I would do it just to stick to Dallas fans and y'all beat up on Dallas for the next 5 to 7 years. I think that'd be great if y'all did that as far as to help y'all franchise and put down your rival at the same time.
Yeah, because
That's my personal opinion.
here's the thing. I'm thinking that with Dak Prescott, and with the weapons that we currently have, with maybe one more and waiting in the wings somewhere, on that team or through the draft or maybe another free agent pickup. They was talking about Samuels from Carolina coming over, the kid that had that long run in the game against us. They're talking about he may wind up over here, and if he's here, that's another guy that could play running back and receiver. And it's just like, damn, we got
Right.
we would have three running backs that could play
Right.
receiver as well, and that's
Right.
crazy.
I mean, that's what we was talking about there. I said I think that'd be. I'm not saying it's your best option, but if it's available, I would jump on that because you're doing a good service to both ends. You actually are able to get a quarterback that could really lead your team for the next, like I said, 7 years at the minimum. And you got your rival is probably going to be like in agony because that particular quarterback has the potential to beat them every year, both games for the next 7 years. And I mean that sets that franchise back because it just demoralized them taking their quote unquote fake franchise quarterback and you beating them with them. I think it's a win-win. So
And
I don't know, but
just to be funny, it would be an instance of freeing a slave.
yeah,
So you definitely would be a good service to the community to, free a slave.
I think it'd be a good pickup personally. But like I said, if anything, if y'all want to go in the draft, I don't see why y'all won't continue to go defense unless if there's a guy on offense that is like a must pick. I don't see why you wouldn't continue to go defense. Your defense is already good, and more pieces is always good.
Yeah,
So,
we definitely need a free safety.
right. See, that's what I'm saying. See something like that.
I won't go another year without shoring out the backside of our defense. I'm like,
Right.
because when Samuels caught that pass in the middle of our two safeties, it was just like, how did it? I'm like, I've played free safety before, and I can understand tunnel vision. It's happened to me, but damn, really, when you're only responsible for half the field and you can't see that a guy who is starting on your side of the field is heading towards the middle of the field with nobody else posing as a threat, that's being caught flat-footed. It happened to Apke, it happened to Reed. It seems like we get safeties that can play up at the line of scrimmage but can't play back.
Complimentary Sports said keep Alex Smith. I absolutely agree to keep Alex Smith. You don't decide to get a quarterback. Alex Smith may be serviceable for another year, just like you said, DJ. I don't have a problem with that. Even if the other guys that you was talking about, Helinski, I think that's the name, Helinski, and Heineke. I'm thinking Helinski because the quarterback here in South Carolina name's Helinski. Heineke or who's the other person you was talking
Kyle
about that you had?
Allen.
Yeah, Kyle Allen.
I think Kyle Allen's here for another year. Heineke, they may have to sign him to another year because
But see, that's what I'm saying. But either way, all three of those guys are good for at least one more year. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, wait a minute. We have to anticipate the outside, which is a real possibility. Alex Smith just saying, "Hey, I'm done," and just
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
What would happen if that happens? That would make Washington more in play for a free agent quarterback, and then they could possibly go after a Dak.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If he does hang it up, that may even put it in play to actually try to draft one. To be honest, it puts a little bit. I'm not saying like right away, but it does put a more emphasis of possibly trying to draft one because like maybe late in the rounds, nothing like it has to be a first or second round pick. It may be somebody you may want to get in the 5th round if he leaves, but if he don't, I mean, I still don't see there's like a big need to like you have to get one in the first 3 rounds. I think you're good with whatever you got at least for one more year because the defense is going to hold up, especially if you get more pieces for the defense. You should be fine. So I think overall, y'all not in bad shape, especially with the division you guys are in. I mean, the division is all over the place. You don't know if you have to win 4 games. You don't know if you need to win 7. It's just really bad how it is. So I think you guys are in good shape at the end of the day. Let's switch over to my Falcons real quick. This is a team that don't have any real issues talent-wise. They have everything you want in a team. They just don't know how to finish games. You see how they went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs recently. They almost beat them. They had an interception in the end zone, and they just find a way to lose games. I don't know if it's a coaching issue. I don't know if it's a player issue. I don't know what it is. The only thing I can say is get a better coach for 2021 and roll with that. There was talks about getting rid of Matt Ryan. That maybe still be in the cards. I'm against it, but if they do, I get it, because you're dealing with a situation now that he's been around for so long, and it's almost like the Matt Stafford effect. You got this guy here for so long, and he can't get over the hump. You may need to change the scenery, not for him, but the team itself may need a different identity. So I can see them possibly doing it. I don't agree with it, but it's a possibility. If anything, as far as 2020 goes, I mean, just look at what's going on. I mean, they find ways to be ahead. They find a way in the last seconds of a game, or in some cases, the last minutes of a game to lose the game. So that's basically been 2020. As far as 2021, they're probably gonna get like a top 5, maybe top 7 pick. Depends on what you want to do with Matt Ryan. You may want to back up out of that pick. Personally, if you are if you're going to get rid of Matt Ryan, I'm not against necessarily getting a quarterback. Top pick, I'm not against it, but you're going to have to get rid of him to do so. I don't see that you put somebody that high and have them sit behind Matt Ryan. That's not going to happen. Now, if you decide to keep Matt Ryan, and I think you just continuously go defense, continuously build that. If you want to go running back, but with that high of a pick, I don't see you go running back. You need one. Well, we need one, and there's a couple of them out there that's actually pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be top 10 pick good. So with that being said, they may just have to go defense and go with a running back after the fact, like in the second round or somewhat.
Now, here's a question, and forgive me if I may have missed who was drafted as a running back last or early this year, but have we seen the last of drafting running backs in the top 5 or 10 picks? I would say
No.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, Barkley, and you had what's his name? Old boy from Dallas, I think, was it Ezekiel Elliott? I don't see there's an end to it. I don't.
When at what position was Derrick Henry?
I don't think it was a top 10 pick. I can't remember. I don't know when the Titans drafted him, but I don't think it was really high. To be honest with you, I don't even think Derrick Henry wasn't really sought after that high in the draft. Let me look that up. I don't think he was that.
Back in the day,
because now, I mean, you looking at it now, it seems that that's the case, but I don't think he was that sought after.
Like a lot, what we're seeing now is finding guys who can play dual positions. It's kind of like, it's funny. Cordell Stewart was the precursor to what we're seeing now, because Cordell was
he was a second round pick, 45th pick overall. Yeah, he was.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like we definitely have with Saquon. That was probably the last running back you'll get as a high draft pick, unless somebody really blows it out the water.
Yeah, I mean you're still going to have some quarterback. I mean you still have some running backs that's going to be that good. That position, the problem with that position is that what the NFL offenses are asking for. It's not necessarily, you got a lot of running backs that are probably like worth the top 10 pick, but they're not used that way because of the way how offenses are ran. That's not necessarily saying that the quarterback talent, the running back talent level is low. It's just that now you having offenses that's running offenses like how the Saints do with Kamara, or the Chiefs do with Clyde Hilaire, and J.K. Dobbins, like what they do with him in Baltimore. I mean, you still have running backs that can do it, but it's just that the offenses don't. They just don't run it for that.
Well, like you said, the way the offenses are ran now in the NFL, they have a sense of unpredictability. And if you have a running back that can play receiver, like our running back, we actually technically don't have a running back. If you really look into the history of McKissick, Gibson in particular was a wide receiver in college for the most part. So the fact that he would be what Anquan Bolden was. he's in the Anquan Boulder situation. Minus that he won't be playing quarterback anytime soon. But then at the same time, look who we have at tight end.
Right.
And everybody, because of it, and it's funny because earlier in his career, Tannehill could have pulled it off.
Yeah. Tannehill was a receiver at Texas A&M.
So you have all these players. That's why when the Ravens had Anquan Bolden, I was thinking of so many situations where you could have an Anquan Bolden could come in, get the short yardage at wide receiver. He could play running back. He could, you could pitch it to him in the backfield, and then all of a sudden he's launching it down the field because I think he still has a couple of Florida State records at quarterback. So
Right.
yeah, I'm like today it's just like how basketball has become positionless. It's kind of like the running back is positionless now. You're either wide receiver, you're a double dual weapon. In other words, you're
right.
back, receiver, but then you have to also you'll probably run into less and less players that are in that position that know how to pass protect, or they should know how to pass protect, but probably won't be able to hold up as much like the traditional running backs used to be able to hold up.
Right. Let's look at G-Rob. I meant to talk about this earlier. Sorry, G-Rob, for missing your comment. G-Rob said, dude needs to study film or at least be good at it. You can make a living backup knowing the playbook. Look at Chase Daniel. We just talked about this. Like when Bills was talking about why quarterbacks they get a chance to start in certain situations. Like we said, there's some quarterbacks just do everything that the coach asks them to do, and they may not be that good, but the fact that they're doing what they're supposed to do, they get a chance. And yeah, you're right. He could make a good living being a backup. I agree.
Now,
This is really oh, go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm glad G-Rob said that because looking at a snippet from NFL Films, Chase Young was talking about Heineke, and the comment that Chase Young made was that, oh, this boy's paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
So many ways. Because you can tell there was frustration from the other players. Like, what is this kid? What talking about Haskins again? But what is he doing? Is he not paying attention? And then Heineke comes in, drops some dimes, gets out of there, and like making decisive decisions. And it's just like, yeah, he was paying attention.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, in some cases, you don't even have to perform well in practice. It's just the fact that you're listening and you're doing what they say that they want you to do in practice. That gets you favor. A lot of people don't know that. It's like, I mean, that's not just in football. That's not even in football. That's in any job basically. Because I mean, I think it was one saying that was saying that I'd rather somebody to give me, give me 100% effort.
He was working in the background. I was like,
with my son? Yeah,
son. I was thinking the Jaws thing when I saw his head. I was like,
nah, like they used to say, like they'd rather give somebody 20%, 20% results with 80% effort instead of somebody give 20% effort with 80% results. It's like some people like that type of stuff. Like they want you to do what they say because they believe that 20% results is going to continue to get higher and higher if you do it with the 80% effort. And there's just some people that are like that.
And it's funny. I honestly, I can relate to that. It was a former teammate of mine in high school. He literally told me he knew he was more gifted than I was. Talking about the wide receiver position in high school, he could have easily started over me. He was faster.
Right.
He was more athletic. Whatever the case may be, but he saw that I put in more effort into playing the position, the time I took to understand how to read defenses as a wide receiver, the blocks that I made and stuff like that. And it was just like, yeah, he clearly, this kid, he looked at me and was like, no, he deserves to start more than I do. And that showed maturity on his part because he easily could have been like selfish and
right.
I'm glad he thought that way because we probably wouldn't have won a state championship.
Yeah, that goes all the way back to a certain like with certain games, like the game is like 80. They say like 80-90% mental because if you get it down mentally, the physical will come because you learn. Like you look at people like who played the guy that played basketball, Spurs, Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
you look at Tim Duncan. He played the game on a mental level. I mean, it was nothing physical about him, but the fact that he played with his brain, 75 to 80% of the time. Look at his career. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's just how it is in sports. Like, coaches see stuff like that, and they want you to study the playbook. They want you to learn what other players are doing on the field. They want you to see what they see if you just have that vision instead of just, oh, I can run fast, so I'm just gonna run fast all the time. Well, what does it mean when you're running fast and you see what the defense, if the defense does this, how do you react to that? Well, I don't care, I'll run fast. Oh, all right, well, we'll just use you on punt return. You kind of see what I'm saying? Right, exactly. And it's stuff like that. That's what happens. So, at the end of the day, you gotta study and gotta follow the lead of what you're. Huh?
Like I literally, like, for our playbook in high school, I knew everybody's position. I knew what the quarterback was doing. I knew what the linemen were doing. Back in my mind, I would always put myself in their position. I actually had that test
Right.
playing semi-pro. I actually stepped in for the left tackle. Small little me playing left tackle. I actually did it. I actually, in real life, did what Versus and them did is a Madden experiment. I actually was able to protect the quarterback as a left tackle. And I'm only like 5'10", 150, 170, around that range. Yeah, and I went up against like a 250-pound lineman and held him off. So
Right.
it can be.
That's what I say. A lot of great players not only know their position, but they know other people's positions as well. A lot of them do. That's why like a point guard, how well they see. This is one of the reasons why LeBron James is so revered, because he knows other positions as well. Like, you have like
memory, so
right, exactly. And a lot of other players can know what other players are doing. Magic Johnson was one of them. Jordan was one of them. They may not know how to do the position, but they know what it entails of. So they know like what their teammates going to do, what they're supposed to do. That's what makes them better at what they do. Let's look at this right here. Cal Trask. He said, I like Cal Trask for Florida. He'll be available in the second round too. Trust me, Trask is the best quarterback in the draft, hands down. Atlanta should get him. That's interesting. I cannot say that you're right or wrong because I don't watch Florida as much as I should. But I did see him play that one game against I think it was against Georgia or Miami. It was one of those two games. It was a pretty good game I was watching, and he did play pretty good. I did not watch him none this year, but if they pick Kyle Trask, that means that they don't want Matt Ryan, because like I said, that type of pick is a pick for if it's in the first 2 rounds at least. Like, they're probably going to try to get rid of Matt Ryan. And I don't know his contract situation, but I know he restructured a few times, so I don't know what he's going to do with it. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with his money. But, yeah, he may be the best quarterback. But the thing about Atlanta as well is that their problem. I'm not really sure. Maybe only because of you look at everything that has transpired with the organization, but the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, he's done phenomenal numbers-wise. Winning games, it's not all on his fault, but sometimes the quarterback takes the blame. I don't know. It's really weird in Atlanta because it's not like you can necessarily pinpoint who's winning and who's losing games for that organization. It's really hard because they lose in so many ways.
It's funny. And obviously my viewing of college football has gone down throughout the years. So and especially with this year, 2020, the way college games have been either canceled, postponed, players haven't been able to play. You had a Heisman Trophy candidate miss 3 games in which Notre Dame took advantage of one of them, even though they barely won that game.
Right.
It felt like the rhythm of the season. Can't really tell who really is going to be that either number 1 pick or who's going to be a top draft pick, because again, I'm like, you had teams scheduled other different teams at the last second because they needed to play that weekend, and the team they were going to face, teams that avoided Georgia Southern.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I'm still waiting. FAU, they avoided us and still lost, but we don't want to talk about that. But okay.
So I wish I could watch college football the way I used to. I really was definitely into watching college football. I know preliminary sports has has brought it up a bunch of times about collegiate athletes, especially knowing of my name. And I like if this were like in the '90s, I was all over it. But now I'm just like I only care about the first 5 picks or potential 5 picks, and that's it. And maybe Florida State and Maryland.
Right. Yeah, for me, man, I've been on college football heavy because we were able to play games. Because I think Georgia Southern's like one of the 2 teams that actually played up to 12 or 13 games this year. Like
Mm-hmm.
we played pretty much a full schedule, even though we had to move. We ended up getting Army to play us because I think Boise State didn't play us, and FAU had to back out, and we played them later. But we ended up playing 13 full games. But they kept me interested throughout the season because they were constantly playing games throughout the season. The first game we thought we wasn't gonna be able to play because we missed 30. We was down 33 players our first game, and they said, hey, look, we're gonna play our second and third strings. We're just gonna do it, and that's how they did it. We ended up winning that game, but we were down 33 players, and we still played that game. It was kind of really cool how we did that, but that's what really kept me engaged with college football because I literally have not been watching anybody else. I
Right.
haven't watched any other team throughout the entire time. But and as far as talent going into the draft, it's hard to really read because not too many teams really played enough to actually show you. Because they still got they got what's his name for Ohio State? Justin Fields going really high, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not really sold on him. Not, as an NFL quarterback, I'm not sure. But that's going to be another discussion for another day when we actually get into the draft because
Mm-hmm.
some people may get upset about that, but I'm serious. I'll just say this, and I don't know, you haven't been watching, so you may not know, but maybe people in the comments may say it. I see a lot of Cardell Jones in
Oh,
Justin Fields. A lot.
God.
I see a lot of Cardell Jones, and it's not necessarily a bad thing as far as his talent level, but we know what happened to Cardell Jones when he got into the league. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I don't want that to happen to him, but that's what I see when I see Justin Fields play. I'm not gonna lie.
And here's the other thing: Cardell Jones also flamed out in the XFL because he was eventually benched in favor of a guy who wound up beating VF's team, St. Louis, the Battlehawks.
Right, right, right.
So yeah, Cardell, because I look Cardell, Haskins, Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that.
Well, I almost have to do that now with Jamar. I had to really think about that, especially that situation where he tried to fool everybody thinking he was into the playbook. I'm like, Dwayne
Yeah, but
Haskins literally was
Justin
not
Fields and
in
Jamarcus Russell, I'm not
the
gonna put that comparison that deep. I ain't gonna say it's that bad.
I'm like, Dwayne Haskins will reverse Jamarcus Russell. He was fat in the beginning, then he shred the pounds to get in better shape, but it was like he couldn't do two at the same time. It's like, well, he couldn't study the playbook and lose weight at the same time. It was either one or the other for him. And I'm just like, come on, dude. You're in the NFL.
Okay, in that sense, if you want to do Dwayne Haskins in that, okay, I got you. I was just talking about play on the field. Yeah, like Jamarcus Russell was he just didn't care,
Because
and
if
he
any
really didn't. Oh,
because
go
if
ahead.
anything, I'll throw this to any like Washington fans that want to say, oh, Dwayne Haskins in his final appearance as a Washington football team member was probably had the worst performance. I would like to bring up Exhibit A, which was Kirk Cousins in his final year with the Washington Redskins at the time, where he threw 3 interceptions, all of them were just easy interceptions, including one that sealed the game that was picked off by oh god, Collins, the guy who's on our team. He was just on injured reserve. So yeah, that's no. Actually, it wasn't Collins. It was Antonio Cromartie that picked them off.
Okay.
Remember, he was like a good corner, and we actually had him last year, but he was often injured and then he wound up retiring. So
All right.
yeah,
DJ,
Kirk,
Community Sports think you should coach. What you think about that?
I've thought about it. It's been like going in and out whether I want to do it or not. I originally had an opportunity to coach locally, high school wise, position coach, particularly with the wide receivers at a rival high school, but that didn't work out. This was like a few years ago when I had the opportunity. I would
Oh, that's
love.
dope.
I would love to. I feel like I do have a lot of knowledge that I could, pass on. And in passing, I have just gone up to people I've seen that either playing the sport and whatnot, and I'm still in enough shape where I can run my routes and stuff like that. It's a lot that I can show. You got a lot of. I'm see, and that's the thing. I would need to coach while I could still actually do some of the things that I'm instructing. So,
Right,
window to this.
right. I understand that. Let's see. Dre Leon says Joe Marcus Russell ruined rookie contracts. I agree.
No, no, don't place that on black man. Let's place that on what's his face? The dude that had no ACLs. He had the last rookie contract that was
You talking
all
about Bradford?
yes. Actually, Bradford's Native American. Never mind. So blame the natives on that one, not the black man. Let's just call it a buck.
Subliminary also says you should coach at TC Williams.
I've never heard of TC Williams. I had to look that up.
Whoa.
And Alexandria, Virginia is about what, an hour away from me.
Well, that's a good bit away, right?
Yeah, that would be a trip. And I hate driving, so mentally to do that and have to do it like every day for what, how many months out of the year? Yeah, I would. Mm.
Right. I bet
For the
that'd be
Titans,
pretty tough.
I didn't. Y'all may shoot me. I never saw Remember the Titans.
Really?
No, I never
It's a
watched
pretty
it.
good movie. You should watch it. This is a
I
pretty
heard
good
it's
one.
a really good movie, but I just haven't gotten around to watch it.
I got you. All right. Well, I don't have anything else as far as sports. I mean, basketball season just started, so I guess that'll be something we'll talk a little bit further down the road.
Well,
Baseball.
I'll tell you what. Just to go into basketball just for a little bit. There's already a Fire Scott Brooks hashtag.
Already?
Yeah, because okay, right now the Wizards are down by 8 to the Chicago Bulls. Both teams are 0-3, but Washington's 0-3. They just came off losing two straight in the span of 24 hours to the Orlando Magic, in which they lost the exact same way.
Mm.
And what was it? The first game against Orlando, Raul Neto had a good game, but never saw any action in the second half. And the excuse for him not getting any action, well, there was another thing that Scott Brooks didn't do. His substitution pattern sucks. Apparently, and this kind of coincided with Raul Neto. It was the fact that they asked him after the game, after they lost that first game, why didn't Neto get back in the game? Oh, his rotation minutes didn't come up. What do you mean his rotation minutes didn't come up? You just put him in the game. like I understand that real like coaching in the NBA and just getting subs in is not like 2K, but come on, it's something that has to be clicking. Like, oh, he was cooking in the first half. He's got to see some action in the second half, and you don't put him in because
Yeah, I think it's too early. I think Complimentary
like,
Sports said. Complimentary Sports said in the chat, it's way too. There's only 3 games in. I mean, geez, you got 72 games. Like, at least wait till you like the game 25 or something. It's
but that's
too
the
early.
thing. That's the DMV. That's the fan base. This is strictly from the fan base. This is the media is starting to get into it a little bit, but they're not like fire Scott Brooks. They're asking questions like the media is supposed to. But the fans, man, you talk about like because remember, Randy Whitman, they wanted to fire him after they already demanded that he change his philosophy, which he was a defensive coach that ran set plays. He was like a half court. This was like when the NBA was transitioning, and all of a sudden the Warriors, they all of a sudden position is basketball, produced by the Golden State Warriors, and then everybody wanted to be like the Warriors, copy and paste. And Washington fans wanted that here in Washington. So Randy Whitman went against his own philosophy to create that team. They sucked. He was fired, and now, and this is since 2014. Fans have been screaming, "Why aren't they playing defense?" Well, bitches, you guys asked for offense. That's what you got. You got them scoring all over the place. You got Thomas Bryant shooting threes. Robin Lopez out there shooting threes, but nobody's playing defense. That's y'all
Yeah,
fault.
let's give it a little bit longer. I don't think you get rid of because I mean, do you have any? Most people don't even have anybody in mind, so it just makes no sense. Like already, just go ahead and fire somebody. Just
I
wait.
don't I don't agree with firing him. It's just that he knows he needs to do better, but his substitution patterns could be a little bit better. Again,
Yeah,
I know coaching in real life NBA is not 2K, but if I can find minutes for NATO or anybody off the bench based on the fact that their performance, his rotation minutes
right.
are going to come up. It's not no if they did come up; they are coming up.
All right, well,
So
let's get into gaming because we didn't talk about sports. Like it's still early. Basketball season basically started a week ago, so there's nothing to talk about. 2020, they played in the bubble. Yeah, it was all right. Gaming 2020. How's gaming for you been in 2020? I know we talk about this every week about how's
oh
gaming going for this
Lord.
week or this weekend. Overall, how was gaming for you, and did you enjoy your time gaming?
Well, gaming for me didn't pick up until I picked up my new PC. That's when it really started to pick up. Um, got more into State of K2, Microsoft Flight Simulator, even Cyberpunk. Even, I wasn't planning on getting that, and maybe should have stayed away from it. I haven't played it in a while. Um, Console wise, just I tried to drag out whatever games were left to play. Ghost of Tsushima came out. What did it come out this year, or was it
I'm
tail
not
end of
sure. Let
last
me
year?
look. I think it came in last year, but it doesn't really matter. I
Well,
mean,
oh, and
it's your gaming for this year. It doesn't matter what game came out at what time.
yeah, it just seemed. Let's see. It was. I was anticipating the release of the new console. But I think a lot of my games just dragged from like 2019. It's just like okay, played these games that I was playing already in 2019 into 2020. Kept playing them, and obviously getting into the NBA 2K for this year. I'm trying to figure out what other game, sports game. Trying to extend MLB's life a little bit. NHL 21 came out on current gen, and just I've been I think I've gone into like video game ADD. Like I'll have a feeling where I have like a certain set of games that I'll play, and then all of a sudden I'll go away from it and play another set of games. Um, I think not being able to get the next gen console really put a like a cloud on things because of the lack of availability and knowing that there are certain improvements in the next gen that I would have loved to take advantage of, especially during the pandemic, where right now
Mm-hmm.
I'm not working and I'm just like trying to be safe and I have all these options available gaming wise to take advantage of right now because by maybe the summer of next year or maybe even March, depending upon how they get this vaccine rolled out and stuff like that. Apparently, according to one document, I would be eligible in phase 2 of the vaccination because I just hit 40. Uh, so I think 40-year-old anybody who's 40 between 40 and 60 will 40 and 69 will be eligible. I think for phase 2 vaccinations.
Right.
So I just hit that. So see what happens. Uh, I, it's really been tough. It's really been tough. It's not games were falsely advertised to be next gen. For next gen,
Yeah. Pretty. Yeah. It has.
and
It
then
really has.
it didn't really turn out that way. I'm like a lot of the improvements they I felt like with with Microsoft and Sony really pushing out the next gen consoles, it forced not it I wouldn't say forced. It brought upon studios focusing on creating the next gen version of the game and kind of putting like their B teams on the current gen versions, and which in a way it shouldn't have messed up the next gen version. But then you got Cyberpunk, who has no next gen version, that messed up.
It never was intended to be.
Right.
I don't know why people get mad about that. That game was never intended to be a PS5 or Xbox One game.
That's what. See, a lot of those games were not intended to be just next gen only. They were being made for current gen
and just happened to play on that system.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, like Godfall, NBA 2K21, and what was the other game that they had? And that's not even really a game. The Astro Bot game that you could play that comes with your PS5.
Right.
I think those are like the only 3 games that was strictly for the next gen games. Like all this other stuff, people mad about Cyberpunk and they're mad about Madden. I was like, yeah, they touted it because see the thing about Madden, they didn't even show any footage. So when it came out and I saw it, I was like, all right, they just put the PS4 version of the game on the PS5. Mm-hmm. It's like at the end of the day, just like, all right, it is what it is.
And they
but
said,
I'll get to my turn in a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they said that it would be a 2 to 3 year transition, which my complaint was, well, why did you release the consoles with limited availability? Not just limited availability inventory wise, but just like you couldn't just release like, okay, just have everybody be able to secure their console, but make it to so that, okay, you just know that you're buying a console that may not be available until maybe a few weeks down the road to ship to you, so people can just get the shipping notifications instead of getting notifications. Oh, it's a chance to jump in a queue I'm like, it was all fucked up as far as that part of gaming. PC gaming has been just fine. I've enjoyed since upgrading my PC to enjoy the PC life. Go ahead. And yeah, I'm like being able to upgrade my equipment to handle these games and yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what gaming was for me. Gaming was, it's been really good for me, and with me streaming, it actually got a new refound interest in gaming. I've been playing games that I normally would play on the back burner later. I just got finished playing Metroid Prime, and that's a game I've always wanted to play because I only played like maybe 1 or 1.5 levels, and that was way back in 2002 or whatever. And so I never really got into the game until recently, and I'm glad that I did because I'm enjoying the game. Other than that, I just think that with me streaming and the games that I've been playing, it's been phenomenal. I mean, you go to Maximum Football, even when I played Madden 21, I've been playing more Insurgency Sandstorm, been playing, what else? I've been Cyberpunk. I actually enjoyed that. All the games I've been playing on Sunday Retro Stream, all the things I've been playing, it's been really, really, no, Pooh, it's not a welcome to you. It was just a suggestion. No, because he said it in the stream, like maybe I should play it. Because he said he was going to download on the emulator. I was like, well, since I got it, I might as well just play it. But it's not because of him, whatever. But anyway, I just think in general, gaming is more enjoyable now. I kind of got away from the whole situation to where I'm worried about the quality of games. Like, even if it's bad quality, if I can enjoy it, I really don't care. Like, a lot of people get upset because a game doesn't function the way they wanted to function, and they're totally missing the point of actually enjoying themselves. And I think now, especially with me streaming, is more to the point where I'm actually just on Twitch, conversating with everybody who's playing, who's watching, and I'm enjoying. I'm having a good time, and now I'm much more able to play more games that I wanted to play, but I felt like I didn't have the time to because I felt like I was going to just sit in here in this room and just play the games myself. Like now it's totally different because I'm streaming them and it's actually more enjoyable because other people are actually commenting, they're having fun along with me, and it just seems more enjoyable that way. As far as 2021, I'm just going to continue to do what I've been doing. Got more streams on deck. Like I bought those other games you saw, Little Big Planet 3. I'm going to play that. I'm going to buy the Sackboy game as well, since I forgot that was on PS4 at the time. I can get that on PS4 as well, so I'll be playing that. Also, Persona. I'm gonna get to play that. I'm gonna play Persona 4 Arena. A lot of people don't know about that game, but that's a fighting game that I want to play. So I'm gonna get into that. It's just a lot of other stuff that I want to play now because my interest is actually going up because I've grew up at a time where it wasn't just me playing games. I was more just playing games with friends. And Twitch really gives me that avenue. I feel like I'm playing with friends now with the streams or whatever. So I'm enjoying it. 2020 has been really good for me. I haven't had a bad experience overall. There were some moments where I did not want to play any games, but I kind of got over that after, once I was like, you know what? I don't care about the state of football games or whatever. I'm going to play something different. And that's when I went to play Gears. I went to play, what was the other game? Modern Warfare. I went to play that. And then I went on to play, The Last of Us 2. I ended up finished beating that as well. So it was more to where the different games that I'm playing, I'm actually having fun, so I'm enjoying it. And I think that at the end of the day, the football gaming community needs to learn that. And I'm not necessarily, taking a shot at anybody, but there's a lot of people in the football gaming community really get mad at the wrong things. And even if they are enjoying themselves, I guess most people are like, well, you can do both. You can enjoy yourself and complain. I'm like, all right, well, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I mean, that's just not my thing, and I'm not going to do it. Like nowadays, I'm actually enjoying myself, and I'm just going to keep it that way. Go ahead.
I'm about to say that last part about you can play the game and still complain about it. I'm just like, there's a point, there's a line that you get to in playing the game and complaining about it. If you find yourself complaining about it more than you enjoying the game, then you need to stop playing the game. It's just
right.
But you got people out here that obviously they have an agenda. They want to make money, whatever little money they can get from taking advantage of the fact that they're complaining about a game. I don't knock their hustle. They're taking advantage of something that if you're good at something, you never do it for free. I think that's what they're.
That's true. But I think I'm not even just talking about content creators. I'm just talking about you have people in general that are following that whole mantra, and they're literally getting upset with the games because they see what they do, and they're basically just trying to mimic it, or they just feel the sentiments to the point where that's just all they know. And you're doing yourself a disservice. Trust me, this is someone who has done that for years. I did that when I was playing Madden. I was upset at Madden literally for no reason, and sometimes. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm either going to enjoy play this game or I'm just going to play something else. I grew up playing other games. I didn't grow up just playing football games. I mean, I didn't grow up just playing sports games. I grew up playing other stuff, and I told myself I need to get back into doing that. And that's basically what I've been doing, and I haven't looked back since. Like I have a blast playing Metroid Prime. I had a blast playing The Last of Us 2. I have a fun playing Cyberpunk. Like most of the games that I've been streaming, really, those are games that to be honest, most of them are non-sports games, but the sports games I've been playing, those are games that I know for certain I'm going to have fun with. And going into 2021, I was talking to Pooh about this the other night. I was going to wait till Bayonetta 3 come out to buy a Switch, but I'm going to go ahead and get one sooner than later because he wants me to get on Monster Hunter. I missed that opportunity to be on Monster Hunter on PS4, but I really want to get on. I mean, you can still get on it on PS4, but I want to start anew. So I may just do Monster Hunter on the PS4 on the side, but I want to do the new Monster Hunter on the Switch. So I'm going to end up buying that so I can get I'm just going to continue to open and expand my horizons and just have fun. I just can't be upset anymore. Those days are done. I just can't do it. Let's see.
Real football game where you get his.
Yeah, I got it. He said, I'm here for a moment. I had an interesting question on Madden. What is the best gameplay feature ever added in Madden? And also, what was the worst gameplay feature? The best gameplay feature was the hit stick. I believe that the hit stick was the best feature that they put in Madden. It still holds up to this day. The worst feature that they put in was fight for the fumble. Either that or what's the other one called? What's the other one was in Madden 11, DJ?
Oh, you talking
The
about the replay?
no ProTac.
Oh, Protac.
It's either one of the two. Take your. I mean, it's either one of the two is the worst. Take your pick. But the hit stick, hands down, was the best gameplay feature.
Okay.
Not even close.
All right. I would say best gameplay feature. You guys heard me say it a million times. QB Vision, the best of all time.
Oh, that's a good one too. You're right. That is a good
Of
one.
all time. Boy, I missed that QB.
Yeah, between that and the hit stick, the reason why I say the hit stick because that's one of the features that they actually put in and continue to be good at. They could. That's one of the rare features in Madden that they put in, and every year or at least every time they tweak it, it got better. But QB Vision probably would have been the same way if they kept it in. I don't know.
Like the thing is, it's like I look at that feature. I'm literally am in my feels because the QB Vision unlocks so many things. And not talking about the people that are viewing this stream right now, but to all them other bastards that complained about that feature and got it taken out. Fuck you for getting that. And then the worst.
I don't even know if it was the gamers that took it. I think it was.
It was the gamers. They were complaining.
Was it? Because I thought it was the players that did it. Because some of the players was mad because their vision was too small.
No, because back then you weren't hearing from players. You were hearing strictly from the gamers.
Okay.
Right now, you hear from the players. You hear about their ratings. Oh, my speed's too slow. Blah 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 blah. Well, I hope that gets thrown out the window with this next gen stats. But yeah, QB Vision. That was everybody complaining. Oh, I can't. My guy's vision cone is too small. I gotta move it with the right analog. Even though they had an extra feature and a snap feature, you could have used it. But people just want to play games on the surface. They don't. They never want to dig into it. But let me get into the worst feature. That was that rewind feature that was in.
That's what State of Franchise Sports put.
Yeah, that rewind feature was stupid.
I never used it. It
was just like, really? So now we're doing the golf mulligan in football?
Right.
We're not doing this.
Right. It was terrible. Also, he said thanks. Oh, come on, my.
Oh boy. Oh
no, I got it. It's
another thing. That rewind feature worked in Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. It worked in there, but it doesn't work in football. It should never be put in football. Either live with the decision you made, or don't play it.
So Real Football Gamer also says you can keep up the podcast, guys. You guys kill it. Hey, we do the best we can, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
He usually comes in when he's at work or whatever. He come and get a couple comments in and he leaves. So I always try to get his comment in because he's not here all the time. Spectacular Pooh said, low key anime head playing Persona 4 Arena. Yes, I am playing it. The reason why I'm playing that game, I did not realize how good of a fighting game that is. It's a very underrated fighting game that no one has ever talked about. It's really good. And that I'm definitely going to be streaming that sometime down the road. It's really good. Let's see. State of Franchise said, too many games out here, current and old school, to be playing stuff we don't like. Absolutely agree. I've been saying that for the longest. I've been saying that ever since I've been doing the discussions on my old YouTube channel. It's too many games out here to be mad at one. I just don't get it.
So we gonna plug the shirt on this?
What shirts?
You mean to tell me you coined the phrase "less complaining, more games"?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't know. I didn't link this with that. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I mean, the Teespring link is down in the description. I'll put an image up on how the shirts look in a little bit. But yeah, that's what we always do. Well, that's what I always do. Less complaining, more gaming. I just don't see how people are genuinely just upset at games all the time. Like, you see some people be upset at 2K, some people be upset at Madden, some people be upset at Call of Duty. People, I just don't get it.
I tell you exactly what folks should be upset at. Wonder Woman 84.
I have no idea how that played out. I haven't been watching it. I don't know.
Watched it. Yeah, and you know what? And just as a sidebar, obviously, but I actually, since I'm in the area, during that time when they were filming, I actually went down there. It was pretty neat to see how they had everything set up. I seen some of the extras. I didn't get a chance to see Gal Gadot or Chris Pine, but it was actually nice to see all that. But other than that, nah, that movie ain't it. Not at all.
Chris Thomas said Read and Lead is an honorable mention. Fever 2004. Read and Lead is difficult to master. And you got to put in. That's one game you have to put in work to actually be good at. As far as passing and all this other stuff, you have to be genuinely good at to actually succeed. Shout out to Chris Thomas. It's good to see you back on and watching the podcast, bro. I know you be busy or whatever, and you got a couple other people. Ravens Nation, shout out to him. He said something in the Discord a couple of days ago. He's been working like crazy as well. Good to see that he's still doing well, because you never know, man. Some people just fall off and you just don't know what's going on in their lives, man. That's why I try to keep up with most people's names that I remember, because you just don't know what's going on. But it's good to see. Let's see, what is Pooh talking about? Pooh said QB vision is sorely missed. I agree. Let's see. Let's see about it. Complimentary Sports said people are literally bitter about Madden. I let me tell you something, and I guess we can get into the community side of 2020, because I totally understand why people are bitter about it. This is the thing about Madden. This is my main issue about Madden. You had the license since 2004. And you rarely innovated on the atmosphere of the game. Gameplay is pretty much been mostly the same, because the engine has not changed much. Some things that you see in Madden 20, you can go back and see all the way back in the 360 era. It those type of things that I don't like. If you're going to keep the license, you should be able to innovate to the point where you really feel like you get a different experience. I don't think you get a good experience with Madden anymore. You have to make up the experience to have a good football. Like, for instance, I was playing NFL 2K5. I played All Pro Football 2K8. Hell, and even in some cases, I've been playing NCAA 14. Those games feel like they have a life of its own just by playing them. Madden feels so bland, it just doesn't feel like it has a life. The players don't feel like they have personality. What else? The crowd, being in the stands, being in the arena, don't feel like it has personality. At least with the other games I just mentioned, it feels like you're there watching a game. Even if it's not as good as it was back in the PS2 era, when the game literally was built around the crowd atmosphere. That's one thing that Madden needs to get back into. Living worlds was supposed to be a thing. We never saw it. So I understand why people are bitter about it. But then again, if people got to understand that video gaming in general entails your imagination. And I know people may look at me funny when I say that, but these are games, and games do entail using your imagination at times. Why do you think some of these games that are out now that are complete fantasy, you're enjoying them? Because you use your imagination as you go. Uncharted, Nathan Drake is climbing on, he's basically like a unlimited energy mountain climber, and nobody bats an eye about that. If you really wanted to be Sim, that dude is going to climb a wall and climb a mountain, and he's going to be so tired he probably ain't going to be able to do it again for another day or so.
There's
go ahead.
A game that actually it has both the Sim aspect and the creator aspect. Breath of the Wild. Because Link doesn't have unlimited climbing ability, but you're in a world where literally it's all about your imagination. Link's
right, and you want
like that. It's just crazy.
And you wonder why Nintendo gets a pass, or Nintendo gets so beloved with their games, because they want you to feel that way. They make games for that. Mm-hmm. But I digress. But I mean, like I'm saying, people need to understand. Even if you want a simulation game, you have to use your imagination. Why do you think when I talk about these games, or when I'm commenting on live streams, I talk about these players like they're real? Yeah, you may call me crazy, but it's the big kid in me that does that. And you know what? That gives me a level of enjoyment while doing it. Yeah, these people are not real. They're people that I drafted. I gave I gave life to so many people on my NC State dynasty, and those people are pure fictional. But the fact that I did that, it makes it a lot more fun. It makes it a lot more enjoyable. And I think a lot of people need to learn how to do that. To the point they're not able to do that, they're going to continuously be disappointed because
Now,
they think this is supposed to be real life when it's not.
now, my thing, just to go back to the base question, just about being bitter about Madden. My thing is, and I'm like, I've played it ever since I got the EA Play Pro. I've been playing Madden 21, and it's just like like every time something happens, it's an attention to detail moment that pops up with me. I'm always saying, "Oh God, just the attention, like lack of attention to detail here, attention to detail here, cutscene. Oh, the attention to detail is lacking." It's like that's all.
But that goes back to the game looking so good. It should have that detail.
I'm like, you're talking about players are the same height in
Yep.
cutscenes.
Yep.
You're talking about when they in the court. If you let's say you get the ball at a certain point in the field, it doesn't pay attention to where you are in the field. It'll automatically show that, like, okay, like if your quarterback is running out to the field, and let's say you got it on the 20-yard line and you're going out, it will literally show your quarterback running out to the field on the 20-yard line going in. And it's just like,
But that I mean
no.
that's just bad programming. I mean that's the thing about
That's
Madden.
what I'm
You
saying. It's like,
you got the license to do all this, and you still have bad program issues. Madden 20 still had Madden 19 on
right.
their practice squad.
That's why That's why people really. That's where I think that's the core issue. It's just attention to detail, and that's why. Like I give Ryan Moody credit when he says when sometimes the developers are lazy. I'm like, yeah. I'm like
Yeah, I agree.
the detail is not the focus here. And when also another aspect, you look at franchise mode. Obviously, the biggest thing with me is with franchise mode because right now I'm playing NBA 2K My League on current gen Scott OG's copy, because Bill's been playing Czar's copy on that and is not having fun right now. But I'm playing my league. I think I'm 9 games into my season with the Wizards, and it's just the attention to detail is there. I feel like it's a living, breathing thing with the
Why do
franchise.
you think? Why do you think my league was so so beloved when it came out, when they finally fleshed it all out? Because it gives you that opportunity to live in a alternate universe while playing something realistic. I
Like,
think that's something that nobody talks about. If you can actually build an alternate universe while playing something that feels as real as possible, you have the perfect game. Why do you think GTA is so damn popular? Because you live an unrealistic life in a fantasy world. It's like those are the things that needs to be put in not just sports games but most games.
no, and this is what I was talking about earlier, as far as like Scott Brooks was concerned, talking about, yeah, there is a difference between coaching NBA in real life and coaching in the game, because obviously you control the players when you're playing, but when you put players in that you decided that this was the moment to put him in and you're able to use them correctly, like it's been fun learning Westbrook's tendencies and learning his spots, his movements, his signature movements, by the way, in combination with learning Beal, learning Bertans, learning Denny, Activa, the rookie, and then in the case of Neto, learning where he fits in, learning where everybody else fits in, and and being able to make decisions that affect how the game plays out. Like me and Bills were talking about strategy that I was using. Obviously, would not work in the, well, who knows? Last team I seen run a high pressure defense in basketball was Georgetown Hoyas in the 80s and early 90s, where they were like full court press and whatnot. Now I didn't do that. I did a thing where defensive settings. That's another attention to detail item right there. Is that I was able to put double on drive, double in the post, pre-rotate, and it caused all sorts of chaos for the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second half. I didn't have these settings in the first half. I literally was able to change the game just because I made those adjustments at halftime. And in football, they talk about halftime adjustments, real time adjustments. Unfortunately, in Madden, is not so much there. But when
I
I'm
will
playing
give them
the
credit for
game,
trying, but it's not there.
yeah, and in 2K, when I'm playing, understanding that I made adjustments at the half because originally I had three players that I had targeted. It's another attention to detail item. The fact that I could scout ahead and see who were the focuses on their team. I was going against the Minnesota Timberwolves, so Cat, uh, D'Angelo Russell, and I think Beasley was the third person I targeted. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pre-rotate on just the Beasley and Russell. Meanwhile, I'm gonna double cat down low. That wasn't working in the first half. I was gonna make minor. I made minor adjustments in the first half. They weren't working. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just change the whole thing. We're gonna sell out, and we did. And they couldn't because one of the scouting items on the Minnesota Timberwolves is that their offensive basketball IQ was low. It was one of their weaknesses. They couldn't figure that shit out until the end of the fourth quarter, and by then it was too late.
See,
So
that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like when you can do that, when you figure out, like, even in games that was prior that came out, like when I was playing APF and I realized that to beat Dan Marino, I just had to basically just put some pressure on him, and we ended up winning that game. And I think we lost the game before because of what's his name, the running back. I think it was Roger Craig or whatever. They were killing me. Just like when I was playing 2K5, when the Patriots beat me because their defense was so good. And I adjusted my game plan when I played against the Bills, where I literally ran the ball more because I was able to when I wasn't able to against the Pats. It's just those type of things where in Madden you just don't. It seems like everybody is very vanilla. Like their teams are very vanilla. They're not much differentiation outside of just like a few players, let alone the entire team and its scheme. Like if you can get the whole scheme to be different, then you really have to game plan. But I don't think we get enough of that in Madden. I don't think we got enough of that in Madden in probably the PS2 days. It's just really disappointing, and I can see why people could be bitter about it. But I just think as far as the community goes, I think they really need to have a deep dive into what most of these games entail, because like you said with 2K, I'm pretty sure you have a few people that understand it, but it's not many people in the community. And I mean, like when I say people, I'm talking about just like gamers in general. But it's not too many people in the community that really goes into that type of stuff. You know, they just go in and play, and they may touch a little bit of sliders and say, hey, the game should be this way. And I've never been a big fan of that because I always felt that personnel was actually a thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I always felt that way. You know, no matter what game I played, I've always felt that way. And I think that's something that should be, put out in the forefront more to like, do this game actually work the way it's supposed to work? You know, in some cases, people don't dig far enough to find out. And I think this is why a lot of the games are the way they are. Yeah, I don't know.
Again, I'm gonna continue to focus on attention to detail because this is another item that I look at. It literally caused me to stop playing Madden 21's franchise. The wear and tear injury system. The fact that the players that were being injured on my team, it was the same injury no matter what. One had a different injury, but two players wound up going out with the same injury. And the fact that you couldn't explain it, I to this day believe there's still no seasonal fatigue in that game. You can pretty much use Ezekiel Elliott the same way at the beginning of the season you can do at the end of the season. There is a bit of adaptive AI in there. Obviously, there's visual adaptive AI. We can all see that, especially on all Madden. But from team to team, you said the lack of personality of each team makes it boring to go through a season.
Yeah, it's very vanilla. Very vanilla.
So then I know Preliminary just talked about working on fatigue and auto subs. It's just like there's no tendencies for substitution patterns. Like there's no
And you know
coaching
what? And that's the thing.
AI.
And that's the thing. NCAA 14 did a really good job of that, of having, you know, fatigue and substituting players. I don't know
Right.
because it was the college game. I don't know. But there's times when I play the game and some of my players get tired and they're literally being taken out of the game because of, you know, certain packages, or they're just taken out because of you know, fatigue. You just
Well,
don't see that in Madden. I don't know what it is.
well, that and you don't have any negative effects that players have on the game. Like I was like playing 2K. Let's go. I was playing against the Boston Celtics, and even though they were without both Jalen Brown and is it Jalen Brown or is it Jason Brown? Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. They were both out. There was a third guy that was also out. But Smart, when I did my scouting ahead, one of the things he's real. Their overall defensive as a team also scouted the coach who had his defensive system. So what I needed to do was find a way to get Bradley Beal off of Smart. Like find a way to pick and roll through a off ball screen something just to get a matchup where Smart was off of Beal. I spent the entire game making sure that because Beal's my main scorer, and of course I have Westbrook could do damage against Teague, who was also no Teague. Teague, yeah, he was on the Celtics. So going up against Teague, Westbrook could get him all day. But the thing was, I'm trying to get Beal going, and once I got Beal going, but the game makes me conscientious of matchups. In Madden, you're kind of conscientious of matchups, but at the end of the day, you can always throw a slant. You can always hot route, a combination route that will debug the AI. You can always, I don't know, and the players individually are not going to be able to adapt. Smart, what I saw as stuff I was trying to do, set up pick and rolls, or because of his traits and his badges and whatnot, it made it virtually impossible to lose him on screen. So I had to figure out something else. And players, like I had screeners actually, like once they understood that, okay, he likes to go over screens, they would actually move a little bit to adapt to where he was trying to escape to. So you have little motions like that. There was also another thing on Westbrook because Teague, at one point, Westbrook got hot, and the computer decided to deny Westbrook the ball. Now, he was in the corner, and instead of trying to fight through the deny and make it and go up to the wing, he went baseline, and I saw him right away, fed it to him down low, boom. And that was an adjustment because on the previous possession, they weren't playing deny, and Westbrook was able to get to the wing and was able to like drive, find an open man for a two. So it's just like it's a living, breathing chess match that's going on in 2K. Madden is kind of still on the surface of things. As far as
I'm not even sure if it's on the surface because like, I'm dead serious. It seems
the
like
orbit.
with Madden is more like is more of a matchup situation. Like if
Mm-hmm.
the matchup is favor for you, you're going to win that matchup.
Yeah.
Like with 2K or just say in general, even with now I didn't even say with NBA Live. Like yo, your team is either your team or your plays have to do something to the other team to make them do something they don't want to do. Like I mean, it really it works really well in NCAA. Like look, if your team may not want to run the option, they may not want to defend it. They'll have fits doing it. Now there are some teams that are pretty good at doing that, like stopping the option. It makes you have to do something else. Like when I was playing against Colorado, that first game of the season, I could not run the option. I couldn't run the ball to save my life. I had to pass more. Even when I was playing against Georgia in that Sugar Bowl, I had to pass more because I was successful at running, but I actually had to be more strategic about it because they were more focused on trying to stop it. Like for some reason Madden just it just mainly talks about, you know, matchups. That's why you see people like NYK. You see people like what's his name, Beast. You see them. They're always talking about why certain formations don't work. They don't work because most of the time the game is talking about a matchup one against another, not the entire scheme actually being actually superior against another scheme that you're trying to run. There are some schemes that you can run that are just going to be superior against another scheme. Like if you run a run and shoot, like you run a run and shoot, you're not going to, I mean, you're going to be successful against a defense that run a 46. I mean, that's just how it is. Like certain schemes just will not work. Certain playbooks won't work. You just have to be a little more creative. With Madden, that's not really the case. In most cases, Madden is, more people are happy when Madden just does not give them the riffraff of the running around when a player is working. Like if you run a play and nothing wonky happens, people are genuinely happy with Madden if that happens. Compared to like, oh, this game is actually playing by like football, I'm good money. No, the game should actually be a situation where the gameplay or the sport of football should be respected. It should not get to the point where, oh, the game is actually working properly, so we're good money. No, it shouldn't be that way, but that's what we're dealing with now. You know, Madden plays well. Hey, that's a W. Like, no, it shouldn't be that way, but you know. I think NCAA, the people who was working on there, just like he said, there were the two yeah, that was a totally different company. Not company, but there was a totally different dev team that was making NCAA. And you can literally see it when you see the games being played. And this was not just the it's not just the PS3 thing. This has been going on since the PS2 days. You can tell that the games were like actually being worked on differently back then. So I mean, they tried to put more things that was from NCAA into Madden like lately, since they stopped doing the series, but it just hasn't been the same. Like NCAA dev team actually, they felt like they were more passionate about the sport, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah,
It kind of sucks.
what was it? Rex Dixon was one of the people who was working on NCAA.
No, he was working on it, but even before he got there, it always been two different teams. But when he actually was able to have more, I think with NCAA he had more leeway to do things. So that's why NCAA 14 was the game it was, because he was able to do more with that game compared to Madden, where it literally seems like the devs or the higher ups want that game to be restricted due to licensing and money. It just seems that way. I think NCAA wasn't as heavy handed as the NFL was. And in some cases you can tell. Let's see. State of Franchise says both have been made by EA. The dev teams have historically been different people, but that was 7-8 years ago. So Madden have absorbed those guys. I'm gonna tell you, in some cases, some of them probably have left EA. I'm not sure, but some of them probably left. I don't think everybody that was on the NCAA team are still there. I would not be surprised if that's the case. I could be wrong because I don't know what goes on down there, but I'm just saying I would not be surprised if some of those people are just like, you know what? There's no space for me here. I'm probably going to go do something else. It's kind of like one of the things that, I mean, Victor Lugo wasn't a part of the NCAA team, but Victor Lugo left to do Killer Instinct. And he was the one that started the physics engine in Madden 13.
And when he left, that's when the physics went down.
Yeah, I think they kind of went back to animation base. And I don't have a problem with that, honestly.
Well, I do, because you can still have animations, but you make those animations contextual. Don't make
I can agree with that.
Determine who wins a wide receiver DB. Don't make it determine if a pass interference is called. I'm like, right now, the thing that Madden has been able to do contextually is get illegal contact called. I'm like, wait a minute, but you should be able to get pass interference depending upon if the ball is thrown or not, if they just make contact. And it's
I will say this, Madden has done a somewhat of a better job of actually getting pass interference called in the game, because at one point it was never called. I will give them that, but it's kind of weird how it's done because it's almost like the same animation every time.
Yeah, and one thing I will give them credit, they've been working on this for a couple of times, is that positioning matters as far as the animation that plays out. Like, I was getting good results through the animation selection on certain passes and certain plays, but after a while, it's just like, come on. There was a game that, even though it wound up being a scam by the person who put this game on Kickstarter, but when they demoed the game, you had a receiver who literally contextually could catch at any, could put his hands at any angle, and it was all contextual. It's just like, and that's where I talk about the object of the sport being freed. I said this on Azur's Twitter. He had a tweet where he was talking about the pass trajectories. And I was just like, well, right now, Madden doesn't have any idea how to, program gravity into the physics.
I think they can program it, but I think the coding that they use is so outdated, it won't work.
Well,
I literally believe they need to make the game from the ground up all over again, because using that same engine is just not working anymore.
Here's the thing though. You put the kicking power to set around 70. I know what this may sound like, but you get more realistic kicks as far as the power, because most kickers can easily make a 50-some yard field goal. You play Madden, these kickers are barely getting over the bottom part of the post. You got kickers that are averaging mid to higher part of the goal post when they're kicking from 50-plus yards out. So
Oh wow.
they're kicking extra points and they're barely going midway, that's a flaw of programming to me, because you can put it on 70 and then all of a sudden, attention to detail situation once again. In the NFL, once the ball off a kickoff, once it goes into the end zone, we have adopted the college rules where once it goes in the end zone, it's a touchback on kickoffs. They don't
Right.
have, they haven't programmed the returner to just be like, all right, it's going into the end zone. Leave it go, let it go. Even if it like hits the 1 yard in and bounces out, once it goes in, they can just leave it alone. So yeah,
It's kind of almost the opposite with NCAA, because I put all the kicking power and accuracy to 0 and get more realistic kicks that way.
yeah. You have to turn down the accuracy though.
Yeah, the NCAA is like is a different set of sliders, but I showed it on my stream, and kicking is just great the way it is.
My theory on the accuracy is that you turn it down low. The AI has a tendency to try to go for a 56 or 58-yard field goal if the accuracy is high. So if you lower it, it may actually deter them from, even though they have the leg to do it. It's just like the AI knows I don't have as much chance to make it.
Right. Right. I just think at the end of the day, like I was saying, man, the community itself, it has improved. I will say that. It's not too many people like really wilding out anymore.
Right.
And a lot of people just kind of went by the wayside and started doing their own thing. And it's pretty cool. But I just think that, in general, I think we all need to learn what really gives you enjoyment in these games. And I think that's something that is really missed when you look at these games. Like, a lot of people just don't care, or they don't even try to, make an attempt to really, find a way to be enjoy and have a good time. Man, they just don't do it anymore. It's a sad state when a decade or so goes by and you still have people still mad, but they pick up the game every year and still be upset with what they see. I don't understand it. I just don't.
Now, the one thing I do see is that I think some people they stick to playing that 1 or 2 games, and it rules their view of gaming overall, when in fact you and I have many games that we'll play, and it really expands. Like, the people that play Madden exclusively and complain about the gameplay, they complain about the modes. There are other sports games that can give you the gameplay and the modes.
See, this is a thing. That's another thing. People want to talk about these new games or whatever, and they don't have this, like, go play the older games. They give you exactly what you want, but people are, I don't want to play old games. Well, I mean, then, what is it? Is it really the modes, or you just want to play something new and be bitching about it? Right. I mean, which one is it? I mean, if it's about the modes, it don't matter how old the game is, how long it came out. You're going to play it. I mean, I just don't understand it. I literally don't understand why people do that.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I think it's I wouldn't say it's curiosity because that would go into the range of of sticking your finger on a cactus plant and getting pricked, and then wonder how it feels, and you do it again. That's kind of like that with gamers now. They just
Quaface,
like have their fingers picked.
first of all, what's going on, Joe Numbers? How you doing?
So,
Complimentary Sports said, what should passing slider be on? If you're talking about Madden, I'm not your guy. I have no idea. I don't even mess with the sliders of Madden. DJ probably know better than I would.
I wouldn't touch I probably wouldn't touch. Well, it kind of depends on what level. I wouldn't touch the. For me, being a wide receiver, I would think I would mess with the catching. I would shoot that all the way up to like 80 or 90 because you'll get different type of catch animations. Remember, not all animations trigger at the default rating spot.
Yeah, cause I mean, when it came to sliders and Madden, I was done. Last time I used it was Madden 17. I used Charter or 4 sliders on Madden 17, and that was it for me. I was done.
Oh, I wouldn't say catching on 100. No.
Yeah, I have no idea. Let's see. Quaface said, I think people are just over Madden because I am. It's one thing to be over Madden, but it's another thing to claim you're over it and people still play it. Like, I will tell you if I'm playing it, and if I'm having a good time, it is what it is. But the moment I stop having a good time, you know what? I stop playing it. You have people that claim that they're upset, they're frustrated with it. 2 days later, they're back on it. I've seen it on my Origin friends list. I've seen it on my PlayStation friends list. I've seen it on my Xbox friends list. I see them on Twitter saying that they're done with it. And in some cases, not even an hour or so, they're back on playing it. And I'm looking at them like, all right, you need to just shut the hell up. It happens. And you know that's what bothers me more than anything. It's like, yo, if you're done, you're done.
And like, you know what's funny? I literally had to rationalize, if I get EA Play Pro, then I can just go ahead and download it and play it. I haven't bought the game or something like that. And then even then, it's just like...
But that's a low... I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But when I go to play the game, and then in my head, when these attention to detail moments pop up, it just refortifies the fact that I'm still not going to buy the game. And and it's, in a way, I'm glad I played it in its current state right now instead of going through the whole thing of, here it is at launch. Here it is doing the tournament portion. Here it is possibly, because I don't think they did any tournaments, so they didn't really do any extreme patching of it, but it's the fact that even then, the things that still bother me about the game are going to caused me to step away from the game.
But see, that's another thing.
Something else.
This is what I was talking about. EA Play is low risk, high reward. Literally low risk, high. You can get it for a month, or you can get it and literally just play a ton of other games that's made by EA. And if Madden's not your thing, you still got a lot of other games to play. And I don't see how somebody get frustrated with it because you're getting very good value with EA Play. I mean, it's a great alternative. So one reason why this whole Save 65 thing is done because you can play it now. Yeah, Save 69 is done because a lot of people can literally play the game for a few dollars, play it for a week, play it for a month, and it's over with. If you don't like it, it's over.
Now, just to point out, the Joy Numbers put out, why voice being done? If you're done, you just are. No need to spread a message. Now, here's the thing: people like to go out kicking and screaming. I'm like,
no, I'm telling you,
without them screaming about it.
I'm telling you,
they go silently and let you choke them out.
It's the AVGN syndrome. Everybody wants to be that angry gamer. Mm-hmm. They want to be the angry gamer. That's what it is. They want to be the guy to be negative and negativity. Yeah, everybody flocks to, not everybody, but a lot of people flock to negativity. Yep. If you're a guy that just likes to have fun and enjoy yourself, you'll still get a lot of people, but you have that sector that, why he's always happy. Why he's always I like playing games. It is what it is. You have some people that say, why he's always mad. It's like, the reason why I say that, because you can alleviate being upset. It's very easy. Why would you alleviate somebody being happy? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so easy to stop being mad. Like, cut the game off. I just don't get it. It's like, that's what I was saying. Like, I can't say what people are going to do in 2021, but I mean, for me, there's no way. I'm just going to continue what I'm doing. There's no way I'm going to continue to be upset. I just can't.
Yeah, because I look at it even just Joey Number said it right. Misery loves company. Like I look
Right.
at like, professional football, and I look at the fan base, especially here in Washington. People still drag RG3. Why? He's gone. He's playing for the Ravens, and then now with Haskins, people are still going to drag him even into next season. It's like why? He was released just yesterday. He's not on the team anymore. Let it go. It's over.
Well, I mean, I saw this on Twitter earlier today. Like somebody was saying that people that are Browns fans are scared to be happy because they've been losing for so long. Because like they don't know how to deal with having a 10-win Browns team.
See,
it's kind of crazy when you think about it, but I understand it.
That's a natural, like, not just human. That's a natural instinct among living beings.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Like if you've built a distrust of something for quite some time, it's going to be hard to trust something that's genuine.
Because, like, say if the Browns do go to the playoffs and they get all the way to the AFC Championship game and lose, those people are still going to be so miserable, even though that their team went very far in the playoffs compared to them winning 3 games and the season's already over in September. They'll still have that same energy. It's really weird. It's really weird.
It's like NYK in the New York Mets.
Right, it's really weird how people would
ending it by day 3. That if they were to make it to the pennant, it's like, oh shit. Well, I hope dude doesn't have anything go between his legs in the ninth to cost us the game. But
right. But I mean, that's just how they are. It's crazy. Let's see. Neff says, I'm over Madden 21 Next Gen. Signed Bob Kraft in this late Friday night assistant or secretary. You're so silly.
Yeah, what's up, Neff?
What's going on? But no, it's just, I think really at the end of the day, it's okay to be over again. I haven't touched Madden 21 since November, I think. Yeah, it was November the last time I played it. And I understand it. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, and I understand. It's like it's not. I'm not saying it's not for me. It's just that I know that it got to a point where I was not enjoying the game, and when it gets to that point, I just don't play it. I don't complain about it. I'm not about to make a video like, "Oh, look at this." Like I just don't play it. It's so much other things to do, so much. Even if it's non-sports, it's so many other things to do. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think we just have to do better in general. The ones who aren't, people are still mad at 2K basketball. People that are still mad at Madden. People are still mad at NHL. People are mad at all these other games. They just need to take a chill pill and find another avenue when you pick up the sticks. It just, trust me, it'll make you feel better. Because like I said, that's what I've done. Between this and me starting to stream more on Twitch, this is the best I've felt in gaming in a long, long time.
Well, you're gonna feel better on the basketball front because the Bulls beat the Wizards.
So well, all right. Got our first win of the season. Bulls Nation, stand up.
Wizards are now 0-4.
Let me go. Joe Number says, Facts VF, I play APF on 360 and PS2 Madden, and I'm good. Exactly. I play NCAA 14. I play PS2 Madden and NCAA. I'm straight. I mean, I even been playing the 2K football games lately. I'm good. I just don't have the time to be frustrated. I'm just not going to do it.
Honestly, me and Joey Numbers need to run for Congress because for some reason, you know, the very thing that people need to be able to do these days is come to a issue with 2 separate views and be able to come to a compromise on what the middle ground is. So,
well, I mean that's in all.
That's in all.
That's all aspects. Like
I figured Congress because the last conversation we had was about. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was on a political nature. So, and we both came to a consensus.
Neff said he got an SSD, downloaded the emulator, and play old games.
Yep, there you go.
I mean, even if these games are on point and you may like them, if you like these other games, that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. Joe Numbers, grab a PS2 and ball out. I agree. I have 3 of them. You know, it's like, I mean, one is a Japanese one, but I was just saying, I have them. You know, it's just so It's another reason why I have all these consoles. I mean, I got them all lined up over here. I got a couple of them behind me. It's because my thing is I never want to be in a situation where I love playing video games and I don't have a game to play. That's a nightmare for me when I can sit around and say, hey, I'm bored. I don't feel like watching television. I have nothing to do. And I'm about to sit here and say, oh my God, I don't have nothing to play. I don't care if it's on the NES. I don't care if it's on the Genesis. I don't care if it's on anything. I'm going to be playing something. Like if you look at my Twitter, you will see like I played such and such game in the last 24 hours. And it may be something that nobody ever thought like, oh, why is he playing that? Like I'm going to have something to play regardless. I'm going to be good. You know, and I think that's something that a lot of people need to learn to be. You know, it's nothing wrong with it.
And that's what, you know what, just to add on to that, that's another thing. And I haven't made these videos public, but I've been playing this game called Space Crew as a living. And
All right.
I need to show y'all this footage because this game's pretty fun. I'm like, you know, it's interesting. And it's that State of Decay 2 type of gameplay minus the fact that it's real-time strategy in space, and I've been on this sci-fi kick for a while now, so I need to make those videos public.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But I mean, it's saying, man, it's like, and I think the main thing is, like I said, when I do these streams, it's like I'm showing people that it's enjoyable to play games, and people are loving it. They're enjoying it, and I think that's something that people will appreciate. Now, and the Twitch channel is growing. I'm going to talk about that before we go. It's growing. It's doing really well, and I think it's because people are coming to an area where they see the games, they're enjoying them. They see somebody else enjoying it, and it makes them want to play games as well. Just like State of Franchise Sports said, he needs to cop a PS2 again. It's like, yo, it's nothing wrong with playing these games that are not in circulation or they're out of date or whatever the case may be. I never understood why people would clown somebody else for playing a game that they like to play, no matter how old it is. Like, you know what? You want to clown me for playing this? Well, F you too. And, you know, I just don't have the time. It's like, I'm going to enjoy myself, and the people who watch are going to enjoy as well. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't know. I don't know.
If you believe, if you don't believe what I believe, you're going to hell syndrome. I picked that up from Will Smith in a song he did. Like, I forgot which album it was, but let me see. I see Putteminthegame Sports loves Bill Walsh because that's the second time you brought him up. But he brought up Bill Walsh football. Wow, yeah, I figured BF was going to it. So there you go.
There you go, bro. You love Bill Walsh. I got it right. And look, I'm gonna tell you about this real quick. I not only have. This is going to trip you out. I don't only have this. I got all the playbooks and the rosters in the game.
I remember those cards.
I have all the cards. South Bend, Indiana, 88. Obviously, that's Notre Dame. Yes. I got the 92 team.
Oh, God.
Clemson. I'm sorry, North Carolina State, 92.
NC State.
Yeah, NC State. Yeah. You got Clemson 81. I got all of this. Oh, obviously I still got the instruction manual too.
Look how thick that instruction manual was, though.
Yeah, like seriously, this thing's huge.
Right now, instruction manuals are non-existent, but the last gasp of the instruction manuals were like 2 pages, the front and the back.
Man, instruction manuals are great. I don't know why they got rid of them.
I did a video way back in the day about ESPN 2K5's instruction manual compared to Madden's and how like it taught you how to play not just the game but the sport of football.
They did that. That's also in game as well.
Right.
They do that in game. Like if you go to the training camp, it shows you not only how to play the game, but why are you doing these things? Why are you doing this in the game? Why is why should you throw the ball to the outside? Why should you do the stiff arm? It not tells you this how to do it. It tells you why you should do it.
Yeah, remember Madden was like, oh, you made that mistake? Hit rewind so you can pick another choice and it won't cost you. See, the early stages of not having negative effects or negative consequences in a game has cost that game in my eyes because it's just like, again, go to the franchise mode. You don't have a player that doesn't. If a player doesn't fit the system, It just only means he doesn't gain experience points as fast, but he doesn't negatively affect, like his awareness isn't like degraded by like 5 or whatever. I'm just like,
Right, right. This is gonna be a it's gonna be a Sunday retro stream coming down the road. Trust and believe. But yeah, it's just that's the thing is
oh god,
like Joe Number said, do you remember Gods? Yeah, I remember Gods. I got a few of them upstairs, but not to these older games. I need to buy a couple of them though. He said games used to have entire booklets on how to play and beat levels. Yeah, they used to have that. Now it's the internet. But now I rather have them on in the book form because they're like really cool because they have so many different unique. It was a uniqueness about it, and we don't get that anymore. A lot of people just go to Game Facts now, but that's another story for another day.
or they just watch YouTube.
Or they just watch YouTube exactly. But I just think that's just it's a beautiful thing, man. When you used to have games back then and it actually felt that you were playing, not only just playing the game, you honestly felt that you were doing, you actually were putting in work learning how to play a game. They just don't have that anymore.
And see,
I don't know.
that's kind of what goes into like how gaming has been this year. It's like you find those games that take you out of what's going on around the outside, because everything on the outside horrible, just very negative, very extreme, very like you can't really trust what's going on the outside. But you find those games that take you and pull you in and immerse you in its world and its functions and stuff like that, then you can enjoy your gaming, or you probably have already enjoyed your gaming this year. So that for me, like I was saying earlier, those games seem to be like your 2Ks, your Space Crew type games, State of Decay games that are not necessarily new, but they offer something that is timeless, and that's
Right.
replayability.
Exactly, and that's a lot of games, and that's another thing. Madden, like most of these sports games, they don't even really try to give you repair playability. They basically want to give you a game that you can play just enough so you get to wait for the next one to come out next year, and that kind of sucks because the sport of that they're trying to advertise isn't a sport that needs to be refreshed over and over again. It just needs to be done right. If it's done right, it doesn't really matter if it needs to be refreshed. And I think that's one of the things that these sports titles suffer from because of the fact that they want to refresh them over and over again. They will never be completely on point. MLB The Show could be a game without the glitches and bugs that the last game had. You can literally get that game and never really pick up another baseball game again. I've been playing NCAA. No, I'm sorry. I say that a lot. I've been playing MLB The Show 16 lately, and I literally don't have to buy another game if I don't want to because the baseball is just that good in the game. Yeah, the ball goes through the bat, but it's not as bad as I thought it to be. Yeah, I'm dead serious. You can literally play that game and not have don't have to worry about buying another one. But some people, they feel like they gotta have that game every year, and to them, that's what satisfies them. Me personally, I don't want to live that life. I really want to have a few games that I can just constantly play. Right. And that's my main goal. If I can get a few sports titles I can constantly play over and over again and have it to where I can stream those games without worrying about the new one, and I can build like we talked about earlier, if I could build an alternate universe with those games, I'll be good. Like NCAA, yeah, I'll give NCAA a shot if it comes out again. I will, because it's a new game and I'll be interested in. But if I have an NCAA to where I have this dynasty mode that is just that good, I won't have to go back to that game, because sometimes when you have a franchise mode, when you have a dynasty mode that is so immersive, you don't have to play the other games. And I think that's something a lot of the franchise mode guys are actually clamoring for. That's what they want. A lot of guys don't really worry about picking up a game every year. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. I don't know.
Like the one thing I look forward to, and again, I jump back to 2K because that's what I'm currently very immersed in with their franchise mode, is that already within 9 games, because of a team's record, a coach was fired.
Right.
And I'm like, you hear about it. There's a ticker that lets you know what's going on around the league, and it's just like I look forward to going in
And what does that give you?
immersion.
That and an alternate
Alternate
universe.
Yeah,
It gives you an alternate universe.
yeah. So
You
it's
know,
just like
if you
I
have if you have it on point to where every time you cut that game on and it feels like you're in that universe, you don't need Madden 22. That's how I honestly feel. You don't. And it's
and
not to
see
say that the game is a bad game. It's just that you created it. Goes right back to what I was saying about you need imagination to play these games. That's
and
what makes the best games.
another thing about it is that even with 2K, like I could still use something that's randomizing, like okay, their injury statuses. They include stuff like suspensions, and they even included what's going on with COVID. I'm like,
Right.
I had one player where I literally just was like, because the roster I had, which was done by like Real 2K Insider, because I don't use the current person's default NBA 2K roster because their tendencies suck right now. But Real 2K, he has really good roster set right now. Really pays attention to detail. But anyway, a lot of the injury statuses were personal reasons. Personal reasons. They were kind of based on like last year's and whatnot. So what I did was I went ahead and like changed all of them to what was relative to what was going on in the current NBA. If they had like surgery or whatnot while they were out so long. Obviously, Klay Thompson out for the season. One guy I just left it at because it was personal reasons. I was like, okay, let me just put self isolating, and self isolating status was there. Suspension is there. Food poisoning is there.
Suspension used to be a big thing on NCAA. It made on the old PS2 NCAA's. It made you be strategic on what you was going to do with your team.
And see, and the thing about when I used like a number randomizer, I had a system that would dole out suspensions, and I can add that on to what's already a deep tool set
Right.
of items to further immerse you in the mode. Like it's like if you can figure out when the NBA does random drug tests, you can do the same thing. So
Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, this is what I dealt with. PS2 Madden. I ain't say when I was growing up, like in my college days. PS2 Madden, PS2 NCAA. This whole alternate universe thing, let me tell you how it used to be. There were times throughout the day when I was in college, I was in class or whatever, I literally was thinking about what I'm going to do with the team when I got back on the game. Like, those are the type of things that most people don't, I don't know if they have ever experienced, or it's just something that is needed in games. Where you, like, the game is so good, you've built something in the game so well that you think about it when you're not playing. So when you get back, it's like you got to handle that. Like, you have something to where, let's say, oh man, what if that backup quarterback actually has to play in the next game? What do I do? What do I need to do if the next 3 games this running back or whatever is suspended? What do I have to do with that player down the road? It's like, what I'm gonna do with the recruit if I get this recruit. It's just that I don't know, man. It's just that I'm trying to build that again on my Twitch channel, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it. But it's just that we don't talk about those things anymore. And once again, we're talking about the title of this of this episode, the year in review. We're talking about things that we didn't do, things that I want to do for next year. I want to do stuff like that to where when you come to my Twitch channel, every game that I play that's sports related, it's going to have that alternate universe, that alternate, storyline behind it. Something I may have made up and something that I have done to actually make it more unique. So when people do come to my channel, it's not just, oh, he's playing Madden, I wonder what Russell Wilson's going to do. No, damn Russell Wilson, you need to worry about this backup that's a fictional backup that may take his job. You know what I'm saying? Now we got a storyline like, okay, is he going to do good or whatever? Like those type of things that people don't do. I think Complimentary Sports, like back in the day, he said he did that. He said, I'm playing 2K19. VF said that the alternate universe is essential. I'm taking the Blazers to the chip about 20 years later into the future. See, stuff like that, it's in the game and nobody talks about. I think I did that, what it was, NBA 2K1? No, it was NBA 2K on the Dreamcast, and I was playing with the Orlando Magic, and I lost to the Blazers in 6 games, but and I played all 82 games. But going through that entire season and watching how that unfold, I felt bad because I lost, but I was proud of what I built. I was proud that I was able to build a team to make it to the finals, even though I lost to Sabonis and the Blazers. I was proud of it because it's not necessarily about, well, you never want to lose, but you don't want to lose, but it's not just about losing because it's something that you put together. And I think that's something that we don't talk about enough. We don't talk about what you put into these games. A lot of people just figure out, oh, I'm going to get on the sticks. I should win. If I don't win, I'm going to fuss at Clint. Like, that's what people do,
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks. Neff said, I'm guilty of that too, VF. I was drawn into a game in that way. Now I just play not to get bored. And see, and it sucks that we play that way now. State of Franchise says precisely. That's why I play and started my channel. Y'all need to go to this guy's channel and watch his stuff. Not enough people's watching this kid's stuff. Really good stuff on his channel. I watch it every chance I get. Go to his channel. Go to State of Franchise Sports channel. Just Google it in the search section. It should come right on up. Go to his channel. He makes some good stuff.
There's another trend. No, go ahead and say.
No. Oh, he said, what's up, Mr. Ham? He said, what's up, brother G? Hey, we won our bowl game, bro. You saw that? Hey, we won our bowl game. That's all that matters.
State of Franchise was like, kid, bro, I'm 30.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. Hey, I didn't know. I always thought you was in your mid-20s. I'm sorry. But yeah,
okay,
but like, seriously though, like, we need to get back to that. Neff shouldn't have to deal with that. Like, he played not to get bored. You have to. I feel that all of us as gamers should have to use a little bit of our imagination to actually have fun. And once we get that back, I think we'll be able to really have we'll really be able to enjoy these games for what they are. We need to create an alternate universe in these games, and we need to find a way to blur the line that, yeah, this game may feel like it's a fantasy, but we play it as realistic as possible. Once we get that, we'll be good money.
Christ.
What you saying, DJ?
Milwaukee 144 to Miami 97. Mr. Ham just reported that.
What? Didn't Milwaukee just lose to a bum ass team yesterday or something?
They lost to the Clippers lost. No, I forgot who Milwaukee lost to.
No, Milwaukee lost to somebody too. I was like,
and I was laughing at this one clip that was showed that where teams are going up and down. It was.
Oh yeah, I saw it, and everybody playing sloppy.
Yeah. I was like, today's NBA, and I'm sitting there like, okay. Art imitates life. Now, Bills and I talked about this, and in my franchise, I held Detroit to 25 points at halftime. Like I was out ahead by like 30 or something like that. The way the NBA is trending towards, the way they're playing, first of all, they're playing street ball. Forget, positionless basketball. This is street ball that you're seeing. Everybody's playing like they're playing on the concrete outside at the park or whatever. But it's just like
they lost to the Knicks 2 days ago. That's what I'm talking. They lost to the Knicks and then they blow out Miami. It's crazy.
But you notice that teams, the way they're playing, it's either gonna be a blowout or it's going to be a blowout at some point because teams just lose focus on playing structured basketball. I've been one that knocks on me playing on the street was that I was playing structured basketball. Oh, he's setting picks and blah 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 blah.
Right. They don't like that. Street ball don't like that for some reason. It's crazy, right?
And I was running the offense like a half-court offense. People wanted to just run up and down the court, and this is what you're getting in the NBA right now. Now, not all of it's bad. You have pretty good basketball at certain points, running up and down the court. but you can't be throwing behind the back passes into opposing players. You can't be just like dishing off when you can just lay it up. You got people who will drive to the lane and have an open basket, but they'll kick it out for three because analytics says the 3-point shot is the easier shot when you're right at the basket compared to when you're right at the basket. It's just like, come on, really? Just take the open shot. If it's a three, take it. If it's that lane to the basket, take it. If you can dish it off at the last second, like Westbrook and John Wall, and find open man for the dunk, do it. Then play defense behind it because now you got teams just running up and down the court. And nobody's playing defense. Shoot, James Harden picked off a pass and still fucked up the fast break on the other end. So come on.
Right. We're over 2 hours. I think we're good. I hope everybody got the message out of this. Like, really, next year, I mean, I've already been starting it this year, but I would say next year, I think we just need to get into a space where, and I'm going to try to, do it more where I'm just going to build an alternate universe to where I'm just going to have fun and play these games. And I just think that I can build on that. And that's what I'm going to do. And I think that, most people should try to do the same thing. I don't have anything else. Not Bills, because Bill's not here. Shout out to Bills. DJ, man, what you got, man, before we head out of here?
Oh man, well, it was definitely nice to have the chat in on this one because
that was a good one.
Yeah, this because I think this is the last episode.
Yeah,
because
I'm not doing one on New Year's. I'm not doing an episode on New Year's. New Year's night. I mean New Year's Eve. I'm not doing no episode then.
So even though we wish Bills would have been here, but probably understand he's probably busy, he's still writing his songs and stuff like that. So got stuff to do. But it was nice everybody involved in the chat and talking about the year in review and how our gaming has been, how it's kind of taken us away from the negativity that's been politics or just social events, COVID, stuff like that. Whether you focus on family, whether you focus on gaming, whether you focus on sports when they were able to show back up. I think this year, even though it was a year of hell, it was also a year of adjustment. Honestly, the adjustment I made was more or less focusing more on streaming and focusing more on just, being patient. Also, financially taking advantage of situations where start investing money as African Americans, especially African American males. We don't invest our monies like we should. We make enough to invest money, and that was an adjustment that I made personally because before I would never think to invest my money like the way I have, and even just within the last 24 hours, I made quite a few moves based on rules I set up, and I think they'll work out financially. So, yeah, this. Hopefully everybody and people who have been in good health, reach out to those folks that have not been as such good health. Folks lost people this year. I lost my best friend. It wasn't COVID related, but I lost my best friend. I grieved over it. I actually still grieve over it to this day.
I can imagine.
So it's been I would say an educational year. I'll look at it that way, just to keep it on the right side. Even though I said it was a year in hell, it was an educational year for everybody. And I think at the end of the day, we have the people around us that matter the most. And VF, thank you for allowing me to be on the show from, I think, episode 30 or whatever.
I think it was like 28 or 30 or something like that.
And just, being able to, express my views amongst the many views that make up the First and Framerates community. We kind of got away from the STEM football community. And
we definitely branched out.
Yeah, we definitely needed it. And we needed it. I'm like, you put that out there. you had something going initially, and you went away from it, and then you came back to it. You stuck with it. So in a way, this show is a testament to your determination and your focus. So
Yeah.
congratulations on making it through another year of First and Frame Rates. And
Yeah.
and to Bills, again, I wish you were here. Congratulations on your focus and determination in getting your career going and making that, because focus determines your reality. And this man wants to blow up at a certain point, and he has a gift. And
Yeah, he does.
this is the year where, whether he was going to do it or not, this was the year to do it, and he's done that. So even though he hasn't blown up yet, but the man has a gift, and he has to keep using it.
Right.
But
Let me.
I'll say to
No, go ahead
everyone
and finish. Go ahead.
and to everyone else in the chat, I'm sorry, I was seeming like I'm hogging everybody, but this is the
No,
last
go ahead.
time, so we gotta go out with a bang. So, and to everybody in the chat, it's nice to meet every single one of you guys, from Mr. Ham to Neff to Subliminary Sports, State of Franchise Sports. Damn, I knew I was going to mess this up.
Chris Thomas, Doug Thomas,
Doug Thomas,
Neff,
Joey Numbers. Did I say State of Franchise Sports?
Say it again.
Wow, that sounded wrong in every way. Spectacular Pooh, Real Football Gamer, Smitty whenever he showed up. I wish at some point we can get Sim F Ball in here if he wants to come down from Hollywood, and maybe get Hollywood Sports. Hollywood Sports has popped up on here a couple of times, so it's like we've had a lot of people. Antonio Wilson.
Yeah, he's another one. Yeah,
he's in here. And Quaface and.
He's been big supporter. Appreciate him. Tadal 52 is another one.
Yeah, Tadal 52. You held a bunch of us down in the last few months. So I definitely appreciate that. Everybody who's in the Patreon, everybody who's a Patreon supporter.
All of them.
And the thing is, it's like we have a Discord community, Patreon community. We have the live streams that people come to watch. We have family who guest appear on the show, like Lil KB there. And also your wife, who appears I think just once.
But, she shows up every now and then.
Yeah. So it's like, even though I tripped and fell on most part of that, I think everybody, and I appreciate everybody.
What color is that?
Been involved with this First and Frame Rates ending another year on a good note. So, look forward to another year of talking to you guys and fellowship and everything. And 2021 will be a better year, I promise.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me go ahead and do this before I do the outro. Let me tell you something. Don't beat up that son. Stop that.
He wants to end the year in violence.
I know he does. Stop that. Don't beat up my microphone. Why you want to do that? All right, man. I'm gonna tell you. You guys, like DJ said, it's all about determination. I started this. This format was started back in 2015. This has been a long time coming. Back then I was doing just Sunday shows, and then I got away from it. Then I started doing the discussions with more people. It was like a big round table. Got away from it. Then I said, hey, I want to start a podcast where I literally branch out from the sports and sports gaming community and just basically, put my own spin on it. And that's what me and Bill started, and I kept pushing it, and I wanted to be bigger than just YouTube. So that's why I started going to SoundCloud. I got this on iTunes, got it on Google Play. I got it on many other platforms because I want this to reach out as many people as possible, and to where that our voice is not just consist of being on YouTube or whatever. It doesn't consist of us being on Twitter. I want us to be something bigger than what it is. And I feel like we're still on our way. We're doing big numbers in other places, and I really appreciate it. And the main thing is I wanted a group of people to come with me, not just DJ, not just Bills, but the guys that are in the comment section, the people who come through to watch, people who click the like button, people who support, people who just have word of mouth, people who put in the 5 stars ratings on the iTunes podcast, or putting a good word in on the other podcast avenues. I wanted this to be bigger than us just talking about Madden and just being upset. And without you guys, none of this would be possible. I always wanted to be upfront. I always wanted to be genuine. I always wanted to be honest about the games and not just be the bad guy to say, hey, this game is wrong. Let's just have a bitch fest where we just fuss about it all the time. We always try to come with solutions to the games that we play. We always come up with the solutions to the sports that we talk about as far as how we feel about them. We also will come up with solutions to the disagreements that we have. And I think that's one of the things that make this podcast and this community special. I really felt that we built something bigger, or I ain't gonna say bigger, but not definitely better than where we came from. Because we all hear from a branch from the sim football community to where we know the people who've been there for a long time, but we don't want to be in that bubble. We decided to branch out and do something, much more expansive, much more interesting, and much more intuitive. And I thank you guys for continuously supporting us. There are plenty of ways to support. If you want to be on Discord, come to the Discord. The link is in the description. If you want to follow us on Twitter, all that's down there as well. If you want to donate, all of that's there. If you want to become a Patreon, that's all there. If you want to buy any of the merch, I have on a hoodie right here, the Less Complaining More Gaming hoodie. All that is in the Teespring link down in the description. You can check that out. Now, I was going to say something about Twitch. Here it goes. I've been talking with DJ. I've been talking with Bills. I love YouTube, but YouTube is stagnating the progress of this podcast. There's times where I have 5 subscribers plus, then all of a sudden I have 10 go down. I've been losing subs. I've been gaining subs. I've been losing views. I've been gaining views. It's all over the place. One thing that has been consistent is the way Twitch does their stuff. I like the way they do their stuff, and I probably will be moving over to Twitch by the end of next month. So probably by the last week of January. It's not set in stone yet. I'll definitely let you guys know if I'm going to do it. But all this stuff is probably going to end up being on Twitch. I will upload some videos over here. The channel's not going to be dead. But as far as the reach, YouTube has not been the place where it's been reaching the way I would like it. I've been getting more reach on the Twitch channel with less people watching over there than the reach I'm getting over here. And it's not a knock to you guys. You guys aren't doing anything wrong. I don't want you guys to think that you guys are doing anything wrong. You guys are doing what you're supposed to do. You guys come over here and hit the like button. You guys share and spread the word. You guys are doing everything you're supposed to do. It's the platform itself. At least I know with Twitch, I am getting more reach because there are people I don't even know shouting out my Twitch channel because they see it in the algorithm. It pops up on their screen. I was able to get a raid from a guy I don't even know. 16, 17 people came to my raid because it popped up on their screen. That doesn't happen here on YouTube. And I'm not knocking YouTube because it's a great platform to put stuff up, but the reach is there where I can get more people to watch. And if I get more people to watch, it's not only good for me, DJ, and Bills, it's good for you guys as well because you have more people to talk to. I love everybody here, even like DJ said, shout out to Obi-Wan. Is the people here, you guys are great, but I feel that we can get more like-minded people, the community will grow, and we have more people to talk to. Hell, we have more people to clown, we have more people to make fun of, we have more people to joke and to have good dialogue with. And that's the thing. I want this to reach out. I don't want to be in a bubble. So within the next week or so, when I come back, the next episode will be, let me look at the calendar. The next episode will be January 5th will be the next episode. I will make that determination to go on Twitch totally. And if that would be the case, I will be on Twitch starting January 26th. It will be strictly on Twitch, and I will give you guys a heads up, and I will continuously give you guys a heads up throughout this month, next month, to let you guys know, hey, January 26th, I'm gonna be on Twitch. More than likely, it's gonna happen, because the numbers here are just, it's criminal. Where even when I get 10 people watching here, like I have now, it just seems like the reach is more. 10 people on Twitch, it seems like 20 people can get the notification, or they see that I'm live streaming, compared to here, where 10 people are here and only maybe 2 people will get it, and we may get 2 new faces. At least over there, I'm getting more new faces every day, and it's a beautiful thing to get more people here. So I thank y'all. I can't thank you guys enough, honestly. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. I hope you guys have a blessed New Year's. I only want the best for you guys. I mean that. I don't say that because I'm glad you guys are here and I get ad revenue. I don't get ad revenue off of this channel. It's not about the money. All that stuff is a plus. If I can see people like Complimentary Sports, if I can see guys like State of Franchise make their channels and they blow up off of this, if I see Neff continue to do what he do and he blows up off of this because we're spreading the word, that's what it's about to me, because you guys are reaching an audience that they can become better gamers as well. And that's all that really matters. So everything else, like I said, is extra. If it happens, it happens. If it's not, I'll still be here talking. I can talk all day, but I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and fall back. I will be live streaming tomorrow on Twitch. Probably before DJ, if DJ is going to stream. Either way, I'm going to be here. I hope you guys have a blessed one. I really do mean that. I can't say that enough. I can't say it too many times. You guys be easy, and I will see you guys in 2021. Be safe. They say there's a new strain out there. Wear a mask. And don't be all up on people. All right. That'll be it for me. And DJ, man, you take care of yourself, bro.
Yeah, YouTube VF and YouTube bills.
Wherever you are. Now I gotta go find my son. I think he took one of my games off of my account.
He ran off. The next one to come in and jack all your games.
See that? He gonna be jacking my game. Hey, watch it, man. Watch it. All right, y'all. Y'all guys be easy. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Peace. Watch out for British COVID.